What up, and what up? Salute to my brothers.
Absolutely.
Gunner, what up?
Tag, what up?
My brother Tag.
What we doing,
Make
OG
sure you
Wisdom?
check out the OG Wisdom podcast. You know what I mean? Being live and raw from a Val Lagoon. Good show, my niggas. I love y'all.
Most of our leaders come out of organizations. You have to be a part of an organization to be an effective leader. But how do we determine if you're an effective leader if you don't organize the people? You can't just grab the mic or your phone, get on YouTube and say, yo, I'm a good leader because I think I'm a good leader. You have to have a track record of organizing people, setting goals and agendas and getting them done.
Yeah. Politicians, I don't really like. Activism is different because, you know, you got a goal. It has nothing to do with politics. When you are activist, you know, it's for your people.
Make sure y'all get ready to tune in to my brother, my big brother, C Gutter and Tag, new podcast, OG Wisdom. Better tune in to that. A lot of jewels, a lot of knowledge, a lot of lifestyle, a lot of street talk, a lot of hood tales, real stories. Check it out. OG Wisdom, Tag, C Gutter. Microphone check 1 2 1 2. Microphone check 1 2 1 2. How everybody doing out there? Welcome back to another episode of the OG Wisdom podcast with me, your brother Tad. Our brother C Gutter is out on assignment. However, we do have a special guest today. This dude that we're bringing in, he is a Black Power Awards recipient. Those who know. He's one of the founders and the pioneers of this digital space where everybody called YouTubing and podcasting and streaming. He's also an accomplished music producer. He worked with so many legends with the likes of Maya, Uncle Murder, Junior Mafia, as well as the notorious B.I.G. It is none other than Doggie Diamonds. And while we wait for him to set up and come on in, I'm going to give you a brief description of what we're going to cover tonight. Tonight, we're going to talk about choices. How do you go from a hood dude to a hood legend? Unfortunately, where we see our folks is at right now, people take pride in being a hood dude, a street dude. But the question becomes, at what point do we grow out of that? There was a point in time in our community, the urban/Black community, where being a hood dude meant a lot, where it meant that you were valued in your community because you had the same value system as the community. Our existence was pretty much criminal after the Emancipation Proclamation. So we were relegated to the streets and we were prescribed the identity of criminality. That's why, unfortunately, even now to this day, when we talk about crime in our community, it's always labeled as Black on Black crime. However, when things happen in other communities, you don't hear Asian on Asian crime. You don't hear white on white crime. You don't hear Latino on Latino crime, because there was a mind game that was played on us after we were, quote unquote, emancipated to give criminality a description. So they call it Black criminals. And anytime we have crimes against one another, it was called Black on Black crime. So these are some of the things we're going to talk about in today's conversation, because unfortunately, we see in this political climate, even with the vice president running for presidency, to have a feeling of connectivity to the community, she subscribed to indecency and borderline criminality, bragging about pot smoking and just having people who represent a whore culture. Let me just say that. Strippers and twerkers, giving that to us as if that is our identity, as if that is who Black people are. And those of us with some level of decency, common courtesy, family values that was taught to us through our parents and grandparents, we know that is not true. We know that growing up in a Black community, at least in the 70s and 80s and part of the 90s, that the family value system was, when you go outside of this house, you represent this family. And not only do you represent this family, you represent this community and this race. So you need to be on your best behavior. Respect yourself, respect your elders. But somewhere along the line, that stuff got lost on us. And I guess the thing is, how do we, the host here, me, my brother Gutter, and today's guest, Doggie Diamonds, as well as you as the audience, how do we reclaim our identity? Because when we subscribe to criminality and a lower level of functioning in society, we're pretty much giving people permission to treat us in the way we show up. So if you show up as a criminal, don't get upset when people treat you as a criminal. When you show up as a harlot or promiscuous female, don't get upset when people only see you as such. People are only responding to the energy you put out. So what are we giving our people? Even with the VP running, which is running for the highest office in the land, what are you representing about us as a community? Do you want to represent the upper echelon of what blackness is in America? Or do you want to go to the degeneracy in an attempt to connect with the people subconsciously, saying you agree with the idea that black people are low-level people? I got to be in these streets. Because if I'm not mistaken, that's what the vice president said. She's out here in the streets. Well, me being a person still in the hood, live in the hood, related to the hood, people got my education from the hood. You don't want no woman that's in the streets. To be in the streets is pretty much an insult. But if you're part of the culture, you would know that. But again, the landscape is shifting. So what is the culture of today? What are we doing? And I'd definitely like for y'all to chime in, because I know I have a sophisticated audience with a lot to offer. And in the near future, we're going to make it available for y'all to call in so that y'all can express y'all opinion, because y'all are the people, y'all are the community. And of course, I know some of y'all are not in agreement with what we see is going on today as what blackness is in our community. And I think this is a detriment to all the sacrifices that were made from our freedom fighters and our ancestors and our political prisoners, just to reclaim our identity and our own frame of mind, our own thought processes. Because what slavery is that many may not know, it's not just forced labor, but it's another person's culture and will imposed on you to have a paradigm shift to change your reality. So unfortunately, many of us operate in a slave mindset and in that paradigm. But since we were prohibited to read about our story or even care about it, we don't know anything about it. So when somebody gives you a culture that's relative to the slave experience, you don't realize it because you're not familiar with it. You don't know what slavery is. And when you ask people about it, they say, oh, no, that's too painful. I can't go back there. But when we talk about 3/5 compromise, not just that you're 3/5 of a human, that's how they treated you, but the 3/5 compromise was in turn of your political voting rights and power. When people say our ancestors died for the right to vote, that's not why they died. They were murdered by people who didn't want them to vote because they understood the power in organizing. Back then, it was different, where you had a person that represented you, where the people picked their own candidates. Now, the candidates are picking the people, and the people are just blindly following along like sheep. We're letting everything that we fought, bled, died for, and created being co-opted by other groups. You have the United States Olympics right now. And I don't know if any of you saw it now. They now have breakdancing in the Olympics. But who's the judges? Who's to say that these moves are done properly? What's the criteria on judging something? That was created by Africans in America, Black folks, regardless of what you want to call us, indigenous and the likes. But I'm not going to hold y'all up too long because I know our guest is backstage and he's been patiently waiting. I'm just setting up the premise of some of the things we're going to talk about because I'm quite sure he has some more to add on. So Doggie Diamonds, when you're ready, just give me a thumbs up, brother. All right. And shout out to my sister K Fighter, sister Anusa, sister Farnessa. I like to call them the usual suspects. So Doggie, you ready? Our sister K Fighter said insane. That's what I said. Who the hell is judging it? That's right. Our sister Farnessa says, and you have black folks turning on black people just because they're choosing to vote a certain way or not at all. That's right. It's almost like we're being bullied to vote for who the folks tell us to vote. But let's say some of this juiciness for today's guest, our brother and yours, the OG of the game, Doggie Diamonds. Doggie, what's going on, bro?
What's going on? It sound weird you calling me that and shit. Like that ain't my name to you, but I don't.
Yeah, right. I just call him Dog.
Yeah, right. But
You
no,
know
ain't nothing much going on.
Everything good on your end?
Yeah, you can hear me good, right?
Clearly.
Okay. Yeah, everything good. Just happy to be here. I didn't grab my hat. But it's somewhere, but I still got my hairline, so I might as well let y'all see it sometimes. A lot of times I wear a hat. But when you still got this hairline, you better show it, because one day you might not have it. But I was just working on this. I realized I could make this screen a little bit bigger as far as I am, but I'm gonna keep it like this for now.
Yo, you one of the hardest working dudes in the YouTube digital space. But for those who may be unfamiliar, tell people, who is Doggie Diamonds? Like, you're one of the pioneers, saluted by a lot of the greats. I would say in this digital space, Ralph McDaniels, Charlemagne the God, so many other people.
Right.
In the music sphere,
right.
You're saluted and personal friends with Pete Rock and Eric Sermon and Easy Mo B. Like, how did you go from relative obscurity to like, all right, who is this dude? I see him everywhere, but how did you develop relationships? Like, how did your story start?
The best thing about the story is that you saw it firsthand. I remember you reminded me recently. He's like, yo, you was like 12 years old sitting in the little room. That's a room in the apartment we lived in. We had the back, the little room in the front. So that described what part of the house you was in. So the back was where grandma was at. Don't make her come from the back with that belt or that white shoe. Or the front is where we was at. And the little room was our room. It was like the boys' room. So that was me and your room. And I remember just sitting there, just like having a vision of what I want to do. Because remember, we was truant kids. We didn't go to school. And I remember I just didn't want to go to school. It wasn't for academic reasons. It was because behavioral, and we had a lot going on in the street at the time. So school was a dangerous place for us. We couldn't go there to learn. There was so much going on in school. So we didn't go to school. And as the audience could see, if you're familiar with you or myself, it's not because we lack intelligence. It's because we had a lot going on in the street. So just saying that I didn't want to go to school. So what else was going to do? Remember, we used to have this saying, what you going to do? You don't want to go to school. We used to say that to each other. Like, you don't want to go to school, so what it is you're going to do. So what it was, just me sitting there, just figuring it out and being under the tutelage of Harry and Mark on the turntables. And we was fans of Video Music Box. So it's like, well, what if I could incorporate being a DJ and the camera? Because remember, we always had a camera too. We always had a video camera. Always had a video camera.
VHS camera. Yeah, you went 250
downtown in one of the moms and pops video stores.
$500 for a camera.
So a lot of people don't know the seeds was planted early. So as people would get bread and they would go get high and do all those things, we did that, but it was like it was a bigger picture. And for myself, it was like, yo, what is it that I want to do? And I was like, if I do stuff that's fun, I'm never gonna work because my job is fun. So that's where the seeds was planted of doing the music thing. But then the music, you know what I'm saying, was just a lot of trials and tribulations. And I felt like I didn't have control because that's a conglomerate thing. But when it came to the video, that's not a conglomerate. That's one or two people. So when it came to the video thing, we always had a camera. I always filmed everything. It was just a natural progression from having a camera, filming everything to, hold on, let me call some of my friends and ask, could I film them? So that's where it started, just filming people. Prior to that, though, I used to do interviews for a website called Trickology, but I used to have to type out the interview, and that was just a pain. But I was a message board dude too, so I've always been on the computer. And then it was just hard work of just, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna be with everybody? You know, dudes on the corner drinking beer, dudes going to the locks every Saturday and Friday,
Shout out to the Locks.
Yeah,
No longer there. Not the rap group, a bar.
Not the rap group. It was a bar.
Shout out to
remember when I quit drinking, I was like, well, what am I going to be hanging in places where people drink for if I don't drink? So that's when I was like, you know what? I don't drink no more. I never smoked. What am I going to do? And that's when I was like, you know what? If you go hard with this, then maybe it could be something, because at that particular time, it wasn't cool to go live. It wasn't cool to have a DVD. It wasn't cool to be on YouTube. There was no YouTube early on. YouTube had to be an app that you had to download into your phone. And it was just really being consistent, persistent, staying on the scene of where it was going at, because I learned from who? That's what Ralph McDaniel showed us. So seeing it from Ralph and how he was doing his thing, I'm like, yo, damn, I could do that. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't want to take over from Ralph, but it wasn't digital. So I was like, if I could bring it to the internet daily, then I could have something. Remember back then we used to fiend for VMB, Video Music Box. And then the Forbes DVD thing, like Sister Keisha said, the Forbes DVD thing started. And then from there, because that started in 2006. So now here it is. Now we in 2024. And then people be getting me twisted. Like I'm just some dude on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, I started all these dudes. I started all of them.
Literally.
All of them. Like literally.
We're not gonna say no names and get them no light. Not gonna
say no names, but just say all of them. In 2015, when I first started going live, the only person who was live streaming was Star. That's it. Nobody else even knew what a live stream was and none of that. And I was doing it. And then people was like, yo, what is it you doing? And I would say, oh, I do this because you know, Google used to be able to live stream through Google. It was different stuff that you was able to do. But you know, just me, I've never been stingy with information. And I used to have the mentality that anything that I show somebody, as long as black people could flourish, it's a win for me. My dumb ass. You know what I'm saying? Hold on.
My dumb ass.
So, you know, but before you go too far, dog, because you really covered a lot. Like you said, I was there every step of the way. So I really
yeah.
Because the camera started in 92, 91 and 92. I remember you said, yo, Tad, let's get a camera. I was like, yo, how much it cost? Because you know, anything you want to do, you know, always. Yeah. But then that was 92, because you went from 92 to the early 2000s to 2024. We talking about a 30-year span. Over 30 years that you've been in this digital space when it wasn't even cool. In fact, I remember one time in the early 2000s when we were doing the music and you talked about selling music online, and it was said to you, I don't see how we can make money on computers. He's like, what? But that's a whole nother topic, because in that space of the early 90s, you also had a record deal.
Right.
You had a record deal and worked with Trackmasters, actually.
Yeah, started with them. Yeah.
Many don't know who Trackmasters are. They're super producers that produce R. Kelly, Jay-Z, Notorious B.I.G.
They produced everybody.
Yeah, everybody. You like the record, they probably did it.
Most notably known for doing Nas' second album, It Was Written. They did that basically top to bottom, maybe like 3 or 4 joints was outsourced, but that's a Trackmasters produced album. So when you like Affirmative Action, you like If I Rule the World and all that is Trackmasters.
Right. So you doing beats for so many artists. How influential were Trackmasters in your development?
I just watched them. Like when I was around at that time, you know, we hanging around the way, we doing all types of mischievous stuff as youth, not knowing any better. So from going there, when I was able to get around them, because I used to call them and say, could I come to the studio? And they'd be like, yeah. Then I would get there and they'd be like, yo, why you so quiet? Like I'm saying to myself, I ain't quiet, but I don't want to rattle the chain. You know, I always knew any room I go in, how to work the room, how to just turn it on and turn it off. This is not that element. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say I could go in a boardroom and then I could go to a gambling spot. So being around them, just seeing them and how they work, the first thing I was fascinated by was this mixing board. And I sat there and I'm like, damn, that board is like, you got to learn how to use all them buttons. It said, no, you just learn one channel strip. all the buttons are the same. So I started looking. Oh, so it's that's treble. So being around them, I observed more. So I was there when Louis Rankin was when he recorded Typewriter. I was there when Mary J Queen Latifah did the song It's All Right. I think Faith wrote it. I think Mary might have laid some reference vocals, and Queen Latifah ended up singing that song. But I know that's a It's All Right by Queen Latifah. I know Faith because I could hear her on there. But I know Mary came in the studio. I was there for a lot of studio sessions, and just being around them and just sitting there quiet. So the influence for one was observation. Learn how to sit somewhere and STFU, which a lot of people don't know how to do because we think we can emotionally join conversations. Like if I need brain surgery, I ain't gonna say, nah, just cut the medulla. I'm gonna sit there and be like, yo, I don't know nothing. I ain't gonna be like, I read, they said, yo, I let
your man told you.
Yeah, let the professionals be professionals in this field because this is their field of study. So as I went there, the first thing I did was observation, behavior. Don't go in the room and make anybody uncomfortable in the room because we coming off this. I'm coming from the block. Remember, I was hopping the train going, where you going? I'm going to Coachella like I worked there. I was in the record label like I worked there.
I was going to go there. Like, what was life like? Where you was living? Like,
so
day-to-day life.
We in the hood, action. It's up. But yo, I gotta leave because I'm going to such and such. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to Coachella. What you going to Coachella for? Just to chill. I just gotta be in this element. So as dudes might have had 10 girls, getting street money, extracurricular activity as far as what we call back then catch and wreck. I was like, yo, I gotta be in this element because I know I gotta learn. Nowadays, what I notice, people don't sit at nobody's feet. They automatically think they know. I wanted to sit at the feet of people who were masters. Ironically, their name was track masters. When you make a beat, it's called a track. So as I seen them beginning from producing Chubb Rock and The Real Roxanne to doing Mariah Carey, I'm like, yo, they made it. But I was there for the foundation of it. Why was I there? Why was I always allowed to be there? Because I kept my mouth closed and I didn't make anybody in that room uncomfortable ever. I'm coming from the block. Literally from Waverly Avenue and Fulton, or we was in the terminals, or we was on Notion, or we was in LG, no matter where we was at in the street, getting it on, to now I got to turn that off and sit around them. Now, I was never there. I was never, go to the store. I never was nobody's doja, none of that. But I knew how to be, listen, I really want to be here. So if y'all will welcome me here, I'm just happy to be here. I just want to learn. And I remember Polk just saying, yo, such and such, such and such. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that. So then I became like the understudy because they was like, yo, you really serious? And I was like, yo, I say, I don't know. I just love being here. You know what I'm saying? So being around them, I learned observation. I started learning music because, when you're a DJ, it's a natural course of progression to go from DJing to producing because it's like the same thing. You still blend in and all that. So, being around Harry and Mark, my teachers, and I was seeing what they was doing. Now it's coming from turntables, putting it in the machine. So now my thing is, how do I put that in the machines now? How do I do this? So it was a big learning curve for me, but I was up for it because that's what I knew I wanted to do. It was just all in. And a lot of people don't know how to go all in.
Right. Because I don't want to stay on track because it's a lot of stuff I want to, I know, but I want to share it with the people.
Right.
Unfortunately, people don't appreciate you till other people validate you.
Right.
It's almost like people didn't know how influential you were to hip hop.
Right.
Until they saw your Drink Champs episode. For those who don't know, Doggie Diamonds was on the episode of Drink Champs by himself, not tagging along with nobody. He was a single featured guest, and Nori gave him his flowers at the moment, just giving this level of appreciation. Because as you talk about working with track masters, you also work with other legendary artists like B.I.G.
Mm-hmm.
Give us a little background on your working with B.I.G. and Little Kim and Junior Mafia and how that went.
this is Fat Chris from around the way, who's morphing into Big. So I remember Oli, rest in peace, Oli, rest in peace to Big. But then Chico, rest in peace. Damn.
Damn,
I remember Chico kept saying, "Yo, Big, Big." I'm like, who's
Who
Big?
else is Big?
So now it's Fat Chris. Now remember, I'm a DJ. So they had the spot on his block, St. James. What was it called? House of Power? House of Power.
Right
so
across the street from his crib.
They was DJing and they was throwing parties in there. So all I see is a turntable set. Now, as a DJ or MC coming up, when you see a microphone, you want to rap. When you see turntables, yo, let me get on. They let Big on the microphone. They didn't let me on the turntables. But then I was like, oh, Fat Chris is nice. But they keep calling him Big. And Oli was calling him Big. And I remember Oli saying, yo, you getting this deal with Uptown. Yo, you ain't going to be doing these freestyles for free no more and all that. You remember that like yesterday, right?
Like yesterday.
And, he was calling him Big. So he was just Big. You know what I'm saying? And it was Biggie. Notorious B.I.G. is the
Later. Yeah.
That's the later formal name, but it was Big because again, we had 3 Chris's in the hood. He was Fat Chris. We had other Chris's, one from our block, and then Country Chris, who's still incarcerated right now. So me being on the turntables, when we got the turntables, rest in peace to Juicy, my partner, when we got the turntables, now we in the crib making tapes. Now I'm making tapes. Big came through. He always loved the Jungle Brothers, the JBs coming through. So he always wanted me to cut. Who's coming through? Y'all know who's coming through? Y'all know. And I heard a tape somewhere where somebody redid that. But that's what he loved. And he loved the spread love break. You know what I'm saying? That's why he said spread love is the Brooklyn way, because he loves spread love. That's why when he rapped, it was, we're Brooklyn. I got 7 Mac 11s. Where he's rapping to, the music is spread love. If people don't know that. Spread love was a thing, I believe, that DJ Mark from the 45 King put together with Take 6 and a drum break. Yeah. So, yeah, that's a drum break, but it's called Spread Love. So being around him from the turntables, we was like, yo, we gonna build a studio. We gonna get the studio. He like, all right, when you get it, let me know. So it's like, when we got it, he came through. So he's seeing we was serious. But prior to that, when we was going to home base and different clubs, the limo, right? The limo would come get me and be like, yo, we gotta go to get St. James and get Big. You know what I'm saying? And it was always Big and Nino that came with us.
Shout out to Nino.
Shout out to Nino Brown, you know what I'm saying? And just being around him, he wasn't intimidating on a street presence thing, but he was very intimidated because he was so talented. Like, you knew, yo, this dude special, like special. Like, if anybody ever was around Big, I ain't talking about when they was sitting on in front of the newsstand, because the newsstand was on the corner right there on
Washington.
Washington, or the Twins real estate spot. We ain't talking about that.
Right.
We talking about when he was in the element of rapping, you knew something special is happening right now. And from that on, when he started coming to the crib, he seen I was serious because he knew I already was so-called on before him.
Right.
So he seen I was serious. And then when he came rapping, it was like, yo, we could do something. And that's when he was like, yo, I could yo, I want to put them on. I'm like, who? He like, yo, Cheek in them, because his name was Chico, but Big always called him Cheek. I want to put Cheek in them on. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, how you gonna do that? So it's conversations that me and Big had that I don't know if I would ever tell the world. I don't think I ever will, because for one, people think people are lying, but I don't have a track record of not telling the truth or embellishing anything. And plus, some of the
receipts and documents.
Yeah, I always
documentation of Little Kim.
Right.
And audience, y'all can look this up yourself. But there's a video of Little Kim saying the first time she ever rapped, her first demo was with you in your crib.
Yeah.
And I remember those days like yesterday.
Yep, because Kim, first time we saw Kim, we knew her from around the way. She always had bamboo earrings, always fly, always. like just bad. Like Little Kim was one of the baddest girls in the hood for nothing. She like 4 foot nothing. She was short, and she just always looked good, and she always was dressed, all hair, always done. She never was busted ever. And then we saw her in the Teenage Love video.
Yes.
We went to Sarah
We
J.
was still in high school.
We went to Sarah J, and it was by the old labor department, which was down the Department of Labor was down the block. Yeah. So we was like, yo, that was Little Kim, because it was a flash. But Big Daddy Kane is in there and all that. So when she came through rapping, I remember her with this loud voice. Because remember, you think Little Kim talked with this sweet voice, but when she rap, he's like, coming in the video, like she'll go into that mode. So I remember her just being around, and I'm just like, yo, damn, the hood is producing stars. You got me, you got Big, you got Kim. This is really before Junior Mafia was formed. Little Kim was first.
Yeah.
Inga was not. Inga, for the people who don't know, is Foxy Brown. Inga wasn't rapping. Nope, but you have, my people. You have Half. You got Rob. This is my group. You know what I'm saying? Half. Rest in peace to Half. So you got my group. Then Tone from Trackmasters is from the hood. Then out of nowhere, Easy Mo B move around the way, and so does Tech from Smith & Wesson. So I'm like, yo, the hood. And then we go down the block to Mashud, and we start seeing Common and Erica.
Yeah.
And Dead Prez. I'm like, yo, hold up. The hood is coming up with talent. You know what I'm saying? Then on Irvin, you got Daddy-O and them down there. You got Big Un and them down there. You got Kadar Massenberg and them down there. And I'm like, yo, hold up. The hood is changing for the better as far as creativity. And then plus all of our homies that rapped. But as far as people who made it in the industry, it started happening. So Big was like a crazy meteoric rise, because I didn't think he was going to do it like that. Not to the...
We knew he was going to be good.
Yeah, not because of the talent, but the polish that was put on him, the direction that he went in, it was something major, because the Big that I knew, if he rapped, he would have been like, he would have had a Redman career.
Yeah.
He would have had a Redman career. He
respected as a lyricist.
Yeah,
and not an overall complete package.
Right.
Shout out to Redman, because he is one of the dopest lyricists ever.
Right.
So, yeah, dog, real quick. So with all of this, being surrounded by this greatness, because we're talking about choices, how do you go from a hood dude to a hood legend? Right. What was it that made you make the choices? Because unfortunately, we still see dudes caught in this cycle of being a hood dude. Like, you just gave us a span of your 30-year career. So it's dudes who were babies back then who are now grown up to be hood dudes and do the things we used to do, like, getting twisted, not going to school. The value system was different. What made you change your value system?
Honestly, I could say being around Miss Hamilton.
Shout out to
Granny, Big Juicy, and of course Little Juicy, because that house had consciousness in it. That house had purpose. That house was African centered, Black centered.
Yeah, alternative to what we were.
So when you go there, Granny from Louisiana, she was so stern but very loving, and you had to respect her, because the energy that she gave was that of a grandmother. So we respected our grandmother to this day. Like, if you curse in front of my grandmother, I might take off on you. You can't curse in front of my grandmother.
I be setting dog up sometimes.
I just told Chago that today. So sometimes, when we around our grandmother, I'll be like, "Ooh, Tad here cursing." You know what I'm saying? and if the audience ever wonder why we always quick to say we'll bust somebody in their chops, we get it from our grandmother. You know what I'm saying? The whole family. But being in that element was like, wow, this is different. Like, they got books, like they got records, they got, they got a curriculum. Basically, this is their household. Is like a curriculum. Like, tape. So we're sneaking their material, whether it be the books or it be the albums, Malcolm, because that's the first time I heard. We all agree tonight, all the speakers here agree tonight that America has a problem. And I was like, yo, that's what they use in self-destruction. But it was a Malcolm album. You know what I'm saying?
It was
So-
either message to the grassroots or the bullet or the ballot.
I think it might have been message to the
Grassroots.
yeah, the message to the grassroots, because it was orange. You know what I'm saying? So I think the ballot or the bullet was after that, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, it was on vinyl. It was on vinyl. So we had the turntable. So just being in this element. And I remember we went to Reading, Pennsylvania, and they took me with them to Reading, Pennsylvania, and Pam was driving. Julie's sister Pam was driving, and Pam was driving like 10 miles per hour on the highway. We like, yo, fam, like step on it. They had the burgundy van. You know what I'm saying? Remember the burgundy van, right?
Yeah.
So in the back of the van was the book called Autobiography of Malcolm X. So me, I've always been an avid reader. So she taking so long to drive. I'm saying to myself, I bet you I read this whole book by the time she get home. So as I'm reading the Autobiography of Malcolm X, I'm like, yo, I ain't know this. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know what America was, because remember, when you were a child, you don't know how you're affected by society, because poverty, you're so used to poverty. I remember when I went to Juicy crib, he had a Pop-Tart. I'm like, what's that? Like a Pop-Tart. I'm like, what's that? You put it in the toaster and eat it. Like a pop? What is a pop? So being in these situations and being around people, somebody knocking on my door. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah.
Somebody knocking, that gotta be important. Hold on 1 second. I'll be right back, y'all.
All right. But yeah, so for those who don't know, as we see, because we're definitely going to get into the choices. Today is the choices, but he's laying the foundation, laying the background. And I can remember Juicy is one of my closest friends that was, taken out too early. He was only 17. But as Doggie talked about Juicy's home and his family, that was actually our safe haven, even though we felt safe in our own home with our family. And actually, our family had the same family values, even though the paradigm was different. Because only books we really had in the house like that was the encyclopedias. You know what I mean?
And the Bible.
Juicy house. Yeah, and the Bible. But when we went to Juicy house, there was African-centered information. We knew we was Black, but we didn't know the depths of the Blackness. Like, we didn't have Malcolm books and records at home. So this was real important to our development. And
yeah,
and
not to cut you.
And shout out to Baba Sweets. Because this is how we know Baba Sweets through this family.
What I wanted to say is that's a little homie who lives in my community that knocks on my door to see if I got garbage. So he goes from door to door and take out people garbage from their house. So I figured that was him. So reason I'm cutting you up, I wanted to say that is because he's probably like 11. So he already has the mentality that if I want to get my candy, if I want sneakers, if I want video game, I'm going to get out there and work. Now, if an 11-year-old baby could get out there in this heat and go from door to door in my community and take out trash and get a little $1, $2, later on as we continue, I don't understand how a grown man don't want to do nothing. You got babies that's willing to endure the heat because he wants stuff that his mother and father could get for him. But what about what he want? What about what he want to work for? He already has the mentality. If I want a little extra, this is what I got to do. I'm going to grab somebody's stinking garbage. But hey, by the time I do the community garbage, I might come home with a little $90. I could get me a good sneakers. I could get me a good pair of sneakers or two, or I could get me a couple of games. I respect that. So that's why sometimes when they come knock, I give them something just for staying diligent, because I'd rather him take out garbage than to take out drugs. So
let's stay right there, because this is a good transition with the young brother.
Because it happened in real time. That's why I said I'll be right back. That went to knock on the little homie.
So, we talked about the influence of the Hamilton family. Shout out to them. We were raised in a village.
Right.
And with this village, we grew up with other brothers.
Right.
That had the opportunity. Some of us had the entrepreneurial spirit to get up and go get it. Some didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Those who don't grow from 11, 12, teenage years, early 20s, 30s. Now we got men in their 40s and 50s and still won't do something as simple as that young brother. And here you are. You and I started in the same environment, the same village.
I started behind the 8 ball though.
Yeah.
If people don't know my story, I started behind the 8 ball. I already started. My life was marred in tragedy.
Because you grew up without your mother.
Yeah, at birth. My life was tragic at birth. So again, I was already supposed to feel sorry for myself. I always supposed to say, my mother died, I don't have no mother. I was already supposed to do that. I never once said that in my life. You know why? Because I had your mother, I had Grandma, I had Aunt Gwen, I had Aunt Rochelle, I had Aunt Nina, I had Aunt Yenna. You know what I'm saying? I had
our village.
I had a village of that, almost like, what is a mother like? Well, I already got 7 mothers.
Yeah.
I didn't have one mother. I had 7, 8 mothers.
As well as Umi.
As Umi, yes. And ironically, everybody in them women I named called my grandmother mother. That was her name. So he's like, yo,
I asked, was we rich at one point? Because he's like, no. I said, why do you call grandma mother? Like, you think white people do that? Mother. Yeah,
because she was everybody's mother. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But although she was our grandmother, she was their mother. She was the neighborhood mother. But if you went to PS11, she was your mama because she knew your mama. You know what I'm saying? So let's go back and come right here really quick. So as I read the book, that sparked something in me, and that's the importance of literature and reading. We could look at YouTube scholars, we could look at all that, but documentation beats conversation. Anybody could talk a good one, but what did you write down? You know what I'm saying? So that's forever. What you write is forever. YouTube, anything, something could happen, and then we be seeing people change their tune depending on where their lifestyle is going, or they not getting enough attention. But what you wrote at that particular time, I like to see capture people's thoughts. So we know the autobiography of Malcolm X was written by Alex Haley. And reading that book, I didn't understand, I didn't know a lot of that stuff, because when you raised, I don't want to say our household was Christian, because we didn't go to church all the time. We went sometimes, but we celebrated Easter. We celebrated holy holidays. But at the same time, we were not raised to be violent, even though we seen my grandmother bust ass, you know what I'm saying? But we wasn't raised to be violent. We sung Christmas carols. We did the traditional Black American thing, raised under slavery, basically.
Yeah.
Aunt Nina was very spiritual, but Aunt Nina had her thing going on in her house, because that's the first time I seen them big wooden spoons on the wall and wooden bowls. You know what I'm saying? And African masks and stuff. Yeah, unks and African masks, you know. But you know, my grandmother raised us to love everybody and all that. So now when I'm reading this book of Malcolm, I'm like, yo, hold on. This is when I had an ideology of what white folks was. So I started saying, hold on. Something ain't right here. You know what I'm saying? So it opened my eyes. So now me as which I end up becoming an investigative journalist. Now I wanted to peel back more. Now I was thirsty. So now I read Message to the Black Man. Now I read The Theology of Time. Now I read The Rise and Fall of America. Then we start Black Rose, White Justice. We start a medical apartheid. Then I'm like, yo, but at this time, you still in the street. You ain't really reading yet. You know what I'm saying? But I'm in the corner, I'm reading. So as I'm reading, then we had, y'all know him as A.A. Rashid, but this is Ahmed. You know what I'm saying?
Our brother
He's
Ahmed.
already light years ahead of us with knowledge. He's older than me, younger than Tad, but he's light years ahead of us in knowledge. I remember Tad was running around doing something. He's like, yo, you running around like a savage. And Tad wanted to kick his ass. You know what I'm saying? But that was his answer for it. But it was like, looking back in retrospect, you was running around like a savage. You know what I'm saying? Because that's was a survival mechanism. So at that age, damn, I probably was like 14.
Now we was, because he was like 15.
Yeah.
But he said, yo, it's the white man got you out. We was like, Negro, you bugging. Ain't no white man.
No white man got,
do what I want. He was trying to explain the psychology of it all. At that young age back then.
So shout out to A.A. Rashid. So me reading this book, now I was just thirsty to read everything. And then I knew how to read, because I was a gifted student. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't know that I was a gifted student. I went to special schools, special programs, all of that stuff for my academic achievements. You know what I'm saying? I always had a high reading and math level. So now I'm like, yo, damn, I started realizing, yo, we be kicking ass out of boredom. We be kicking ass out of protecting each other too, because we in this concrete jungle called Brooklyn. This is 80, 88, no, 87.
87.
And summer 87 started it all.
Yeah.
Summer 87.
85, 86, we was just outside. 86,
Right.
87, we got active.
Then you
Super
got
active.
88. Because I remember when Ain't No Half Stepping came out, we was already turned by that time. Where everybody had a flat top with parts in their eyebrows.
And was already going to jail, going to spa.
Right. So in this time, but now I'm reading, and subconsciously I know right from wrong. So that's why sometimes I would dip off. And people are like, yo, we going to catch wreck. I'm going to Cold Chilling. Yo, what you doing? Yo, let's go to the store and steal some beers. Yo, nah, I'm gonna go to the studio. Tone said I could come. And then it got so bad that the people that was in my group that's supposed to be coming with me, they stopped going. And I'm going by myself. So now I'm not going to represent my group. I'm going to represent me. I'm building my name because this is what I want. I know this is what I want. I already know my life path is this. There's nothing else but this, but I'm going to be in entertainment somehow. But the good thing about me being in entertainment and being from the street element was nobody was ever going to touch me physically, sexually, or spiritually. Nobody's ever going to touch me because I'm coming from what? I'm coming from fighting grown ass men. So if a man, you want what? Yo, you wow.
Yo, hold on. Because and I can take you too far off. I just want to stop you because I don't want to forget hood dudes. Because I want to establish that you are a hood dude. Even though, because I'm sitting here looking like Doggie almost posturing himself like an angel because you was there for a lot of action.
I was there for everything.
And that's what I was gonna say. When you got in that element and you went on tour, what was that like? Because if you was getting kind of chastised. In fact, even when
Benzino told you I was bad,
Benzino was like, "Yo, this dude was a little badass. I had to keep him with me to keep him out of trouble." Because what was that like going on tour with some of these? Shout out to Ray Benzino because
rest in peace, Biz Markie. He was the tour MC.
Right, you was on tour with Biz because I'm listening, and that element is where you came from. Right. But I also remember you taking that element with you on the road. What was that like? Like, how was that a paradigm shift for you?
Well, the only place we ever been the farthest place we've been at this particular time was Bear Mountain. We used to go on bus out with Louis Little. So we went to like Danbury, Holyoke, we went to the Danbury Fair. So we used to do stuff like that. But as far as going,
shout out to my grandmother who organized those bus trips.
And then we used to go to the mountains with Umi, my grandmother. Yeah, but for all I know, that could have been somewhere like Westchester, somewhere like that. We don't know, but we knew it was far. We used to just go upstate. So or it could have been Rochester. You know what I'm saying? We really don't know at this particular time. I'm gonna get to the bottom of that. Matter of fact, I'm gonna call my aunt Aaliyah and see if she know. At this time, now I'm getting to go on tour. So I'm like, what is tour? Mind you, I'm 15. What is tour? Oh, you got to go do shows and all that. And I'm like, okay. So now I'm coming from the block. So now Brooklyn mentality. Because see, people think it's a New York mentality. I never had a New York mentality. I had a Brooklyn mentality. When people ask me where you're from, New York, I say, no, I'm from Brooklyn. It's not the same. And for real, if you are out of town or watching this, it's not the same. We're not the same. Not that we better than anybody, not that we worse than anybody, but it's a certain nepotism and nostalgia that we carry as Brooklynites that's with you ever. That's why you'll see somebody, somebody who's performing in Kentucky or say, "Where Brooklyn at?" And everybody be like, "Oh, they capping," but we always want to let it be known Brooklyn's in the house. You know what I'm saying? So going on tour was like, hold on. The discovery of that soda costs what? 40 cents? How the hell is that soda cost 40 cents? It's 95. So traveling, because I've been around in the United States, I might say I've been to it's 52 states. I've probably been to about 43 of the United States of the states in the United States. So going on tour was just like, yo, we out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, and then we just like, yo, what the hell going on? We seen girls, we seen all this stuff. So I remember coming home the last day of the tour. I remember crying. We all cried. It was like, yo, we got to go home. And we knew going home was going back around the way. That's when I said, I got to get this feeling again. Around the way, I know what's going to happen. But on this tour, I'm in North Carolina, South Carolina, Atlanta back then. We talking about 1992. You know what I'm saying? I'm all around. I'm in Tallahassee, Florida. I'm on a tour bus.
Yo, where was Water Street?
That was Arizona. Yeah, that was Arizona. But see, and that was a different show. The deal is, so now you on a tour and you start rolling, you start learning rules of tour. The bus, don't drop no load on the bus. You gotta use the bathroom, the bus will pull over, because if not, you know, it sits in the tube. The bus is gonna stink. You know what I'm saying? So just going and leaving the hood, and I just love the show life. And then shout out to OJ too. OJ Wedlaw is his name. And shout out to Roxanne Shante, because I DJ'd for her on a lot of shows. But I was, you know, I couldn't even legally get in the places I was in. Like if I had to went to the door and try to get in, I couldn't get in. So I always had to have like a chaperone. So it would be OJ or Fly Ty. Shout out to Fly Ty, the CEO of Cold Chillin', or Shante. I had to be with them because I really literally was, thinking back, I was a little ass kid. You know what I'm saying? But the mentality was Brooklyn. I ain't scared of nobody. Yo, I ain't scared of these Virginia dudes. You know what I'm saying? That's what it was. But then shout out to Hot Dog. Hot Dog was like, yo, we the two dogs on the road. Yo, you gotta chill.
Now Hot Dog, Chubb Rock dancer.
Yeah, Chubb, yeah. And he was also a rapper in a group called the A-Team on Select Records. He's like, yo, you gotta chill. And I was like, what you mean chill? He said, yo, man, you be having fun. I see you having fun, but you know, if people are scared of you, they're not gonna want to deal with you. And I'm like, why would anybody be scared of me? He's like, yo, you coming here Bed-Stuy. Like, you Bed-Stuy everywhere. And I'm like, ain't everybody like that? He said, no, look around you. Everybody's chilling. And I'm like, you know what I'm saying? But I still had the mentality. And then they messed up. They bought us BB guns. But with the air, though, not the crane, the air BB guns. Man, I shot everybody with that. Cause you know, I got a jammy in my hand now. So we popping everybody with it. But it was just the mentality. So that's why even when I look at the youth and I see the NBA young boys and all of them, I understand them, because I understand having that youthful energy. The only difference was when I was their age, I ain't had no money the way they got it.
Right.
If I was able to get to the money, I would have chilled. But go ahead though.
Yeah, because you talked about the mentality,
Mm-hmm.
the hood mentality you have, and Hot Dog had to pull your coat.
Yeah.
That
And
it doesn't serve
yeah.
you in the place you want to go. Because I guess he saw the vision that you wanted, or you wouldn't even been there.
Right.
You wouldn't have been on that bus, or you know, just
right.
being a good student to the game.
Right.
Let's fast forward to YouTube now.
Where we at?
2022. We got a section of YouTube called the YouTube Streets, which dudes want to call the YouTube Streets. And of course, you know, I see a lot of shots thrown your way.
Right.
And you often deflect it and you don't engage dudes.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that? Because sometimes I get upset, but you know how
you'll be mad. I be telling you to chill, because again, like I try to tell people, you know, I be alone because I'm always gonna hold my own, and anything that I say, I'm always ready to be held accountable. Nisha 9-Star, that's my moderator for my channel. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Nisha. I'm always ready and prepared to whatever, because that's how we was raised, whether we together or you by yourself, you got to hold it down. Ain't no running, ain't no tucking our tail. Whatever it is. If you outnumbered, bite somebody's ear and then get up out of there. You know what I'm saying? But to get away unscathed is a thing. And I'm a person who's very opinionated. And I know people don't like free black men. I'm say that to you one more time, because I don't think people understand that. People don't like free black men.
And when you say free, explain to them what you mean by free.
A critical thinker, and I'm under nobody's jurisdiction. I'm a critical thinker. I think with logic. I don't talk out of emotions, and I know how to shut up. I don't always have to have an opinion, and I do for myself. And I'm under nobody's jurisdiction, so I could.
Are you a Mormon?
No. I can speak freely. You get what I'm saying? So people being that they're under people's jurisdiction, you know, their girl might kick them out, their girl coming to the house for job applications, you know, or their insurance is under somebody's name, or they on child support. They'll see me and be envious because they wanna identify with me, but they can't, because if they say too much, you got to get out. You know what I'm saying? Me, what you see is the house that I built. You know what I'm saying? From every graphic, everything you see is what I built. So when I speak freely, instead of people being inspired publicly, they'll DM me and salute me and tell me how important I am to them, the culture, but then disrespect me publicly. So I know what it is. That's why I'm receipt man. And I'm always show reciprocity, you know, because the DMs that y'all don't see is with the DM when a dude DM me and say, yo, because of you, I ain't sniffed cocaine in 3 months. I picture you calling me a custy and yelling at me. It had me rolling. So I'm like, nah, I ain't no custy. You know what I'm saying? People don't understand when they say, yo, I seen an old picture of you. You was 300 pounds. Yo, I've been doing 50 push-ups every day. And I say, yo, keep going. So this is what you do now. Incorporate you some more water. They don't see that. They only see me, so-called being fiery, being opinionated. But they don't see the lives that you actually change and the people that you reach, because it's not your business for me to say. That's almost like feeding the homeless and filming them. That's disingenuous to me, not unless you got an organization to show this is what we do as an organization. Come on down and get your plate. But if you're an individual that's going to Skid Row or anywhere and feeding the homeless, you're doing it for clout, because that's embarrassing to the person, right? So what I'm saying is that I understand people mentality. People like to throw shots at me because regardless, this is not a numbers game. This is an impact game, right? And a lot of times people like to say what they're going to say. Ain't nobody swung on me yet. When people be like, they're going to do this to me, I'm like, yo, damn, maybe I do need my ass. So come kick my ass. Do it. You know what I'm saying? Do it, because I bet you when you get in my presence, it feel a little different. When you see a dude that's like 6 feet, 195 pounds, that's always ready to go, and I walk around with this thing on me at all times, license, I dare you. But remember, you publicly threatened me. I ain't say nothing about you. So if I turn your head into spaghetti sauce, remember what you said. So I look at people and I laugh, because I'm like, I'm going to be real with y'all, the audience. What it is with a lot of guys, these niggas need hugs. But I don't hug. I can't coddle you. Most of the people who mad at me is mad at me because I backed away from them because of their behaviors. Me, I hold people accountable. I don't care who you're. Yo, bro, now you can't be doing that. Why you can't be doing that? Because your name was once affiliated with this. When people see you, they see me. Now people want to ask me, what's up with your man such and such? Like how we are with each other. Remember we had a talk a long time ago, and I was like, yo, Tad, we can't be doing certain stuff. Why? Because grandma got to walk to school every day. Everybody know her path. What happens if somebody do something to grandma one day? And you like, damn, you know what? You're right.
Yeah, and I don't think, and to your point, because you put in some more questions in my mind, I don't think people understand what we were really doing out here. Like I look at dudes these days in these YouTube streets, or anybody who want to be a gangster, and I'm like, you're emulating who we used to be and who you and I moved away from. And shout out to a lot of our dudes who are still in that life. Shout out to our dudes who are locked up right now for being in that life. Because one thing that feels good to me, dog, and I'm quite sure you get it too, is when you get that call from inside, or when dudes come home like, yo, I was watching you, man. I love what you're doing. I support you. I see your growth. Because
free our brother Turf. Turf got it.
Free Turf. You know what I'm saying? Yo, I don't think people know how our story could have been ended a long time ago. It could have ended with any one of us.
Funny? When I see people throw jabs at me, I laugh because I see people do it to Big Fruit. And I'm like, yo, when we was young, your Fruit used to terrorize a lot of y'all.
And shout out to Big Fruit from LG.
Yeah, like y'all wouldn't have played with LG. I never played with Fruit in the flesh. Never played with Fruit. Never played with Butter. Never played with World. Like, so when you see people throw their name around, I'll be like, now I understand what YouTube is about. Yeah, you really don't know who you talking about. Rest in peace.
Or even with Butter. or even with Gutter.
Yeah, but Gutter, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
One thing I did like is we had Irritated Genie on. Shout out to Irritated Genie, and he apologized to Gutter for what he thought about Gutter based on Biggie's song. Because I would always tell people, yo, if my man Gutter was standing here right now, I promise you, you wouldn't say nothing disrespectful about him. You know what I mean? Because it's that Brooklyn energy that we carry, but it's that warrior spirit.
The hands-on policy.
Yeah, that hands-on policy, because us Brooklyn dudes, like, if we argue with you, it's because we care and respect you.
Right.
Because if we don't care about you and we don't respect you, you get in these hands because you only got a certain way to talk to us before you get punched in your mouth. But I say that, right, dog?
Mm-hmm.
At what point do we elevate from that too, though? Because it's a time and a place for that. We're not going to lose that warrior spirit because we know when to turn it on and turn it off. But then there's a pocket of brothers who's close to our age, over 40 years old, that still operate like the 16-year-olds and think that that level of violence is applicable in every situation.
It's a insecurity thing. It's a defense mechanism, because I'm so secure with myself. What I got to prove? I get up, I live how I want, I eat what I want, drive a foreign car, all for my thoughts and my brain, all because of my application. I'm able to live like that. And I'm going to give up my thoughts, my brain, my application. And application just means applying yourself to your craft in different fields. And also think of the mentality. When you put out in a job application or a housing application, you put in applications everywhere. You go to and fro. You don't know who's going to hire you. That's what application is in the streets. You apply yourself to different things. Because we people who claim to be knowledgeable and we know everything, because nowadays you can't tell nobody nothing. They know everything. But how do you apply what you know? My thing is application. Shout out to what's the homie name? Tahir RBG. He was the first person that said to me was application is key. You know what I'm saying? I still got his interview I got to put out. But what I'm saying is that when I see people a certain way, I be like, yo, this dude need a hug. And he's so busy following the agenda that he tried to act like that he's not a part of, that all he has as a defense mechanism is being an N-word. That's all he got. He don't even know how to
a real one.
To be a real dude, because at the end of the day, what do I have to prove?
Right.
So when people say, oh, because everybody who ever try to discredit me, just how they try to discredit me. He's smart. I'm like, you don't say I am smart.
Reading ass dude.
Yeah, they try to say, oh, he's not like that. He's smart. No. Think what you want. It doesn't matter, because you know what? I am intelligent, and intelligence is gangster. And you could get them.
I was gonna say, because we know brains beat brawn, because in my situation, for those who don't know, I was jammed up for a few years back, and I was looking at the rest of my life in there. And what I did was took my brains and took myself to the law library and learned the language that Sister Keisha introduced me to, called legalese.
Look, shop.doggiediamondtv.com. Intelligent is gangster.
It's gangster. That's right.
Because the gangster.
So where to go and get it again, dog?
Shop.doggiediamondtv.com. See, listen what you got to understand. My brother, 38 Special, said something in the rap, and he said, a powerful mind can build an empire with somebody else's hands. And I always call Special. I'd be like, yo, Special, say that shit to me again. A powerful mind can build an empire with somebody else's hand. See, that's the brawn. The brain is always gonna outthink the brute. The brute is needed, but you need the brain. And remember, the mind controls the body. So if you're acting impulsively, that means you're not thinking. We critical thinkers. We're strategic with everything. Like, I'm so strategic. Timing is everything. And me being a grown-ass man, I do age-appropriate stuff. I always wanted to get old. I always wanted to be older. I always couldn't wait, because when you're a child, you can't wait to get old. So now that you're old, why you want to be a child?
Yeah.
You old enough, you got your freedom. Whereas you can do what you want. Can't nobody tell you when you got to go in the house, when you got to go to bed. That was the thing. The discipline that you was getting as a child was supposed to have shaped you as a grown man or woman. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I don't do certain things because I did that. I grew from that.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So if I was still a caterpillar, when I'm going to be the butterfly?
Right.
The butterfly is fly. That's flying around free. The caterpillar got to crawl around.
Right.
I'd rather be free as a caterpillar. Pause for anybody who's thinking, wow, you know what I'm saying? But you know, I'd rather have my freedom, but I had to go in the cocoon and then come out a new me. So what did I say? I said, you know what?
Go through them internal
Gotta
struggles.
go through the internal struggle. I said, you know what? You severely overweight, you depressed, there's different things that contributed to what you're going through, but nobody cares. You can't complain because ain't nobody listening. Right? So I said to myself, I said, yo, you know what? This is what you got to do. You can stay out here with them because they going to be here. They not going nowhere. I love them to death. But I don't want to die with them. Because the path that they on is destruction. And I was right there. Juicy dead, Half dead, Yaya dead, Tank dead. This is our childhood friends where we knew each other
that
before.
Was taken out though. It wasn't sickness and illness.
Yeah. These are our childhood
friends taken while we were still children.
Our childhood friends who passed away before they had facial hair. Oh well, Juicy, he always had a beard. I don't even like.
Yeah, he's born with a beard.
Yeah, he's born with a beard. You know what I'm saying? So when you see that, when you see your best friend in a casket, that don't do something for you. That don't make you say, "Hold on, either I'm gonna join him or I'm gonna change." What path are we on? You know what? And then you start thinking about family, and you start saying, "Damn, Tad is having kids. What we gonna do for the kids? Because we was raised with a village. How are we not creating a village for them? What we don't so Tad kids
make it better.
Yeah, Tad kids is my kids. When they have issues with him, they call me. When they need money, they call me. If he don't got it or got to give it to him another week, they call me. That's just how they raise. Y'all see Zuri. Everybody thinks Zuri's my daughter. That's his granddaughter. But that's my little cousin and also my goddaughter. I raised with him, Zuri mother. The way I am with Zuri, the way I was with her mother. You know what I'm saying? That's family lineage. But
and you know what's funny though? Real quick, while we're on that subject, people don't know that you never had a job. You always worked for yourself.
Never had a job. I had a job for 1
month. In
that
village, you was like the babysitter.
I was the babysitter. I raised all the kids.
Work like we need somebody to watch your dog. And you had the children in the studio with you.
Yeah, little Tad.
Bring him to me.
Buddy. Yeah, little buddy, who's little Tad. Really, his name is Little Tad, but his name is Little Buddy because he was my little buddy. But everybody else called him Buddy. But I still call him Little Buddy. You know what I'm saying? He was in the studio with Biggie and them and Pampers and Little Kim and always in studios. So he was, you know, what I tried to do with the youth, which wasn't done for us because they didn't understand was, yo, let's put them in environments where they don't ever have to worry about danger. They get to be kids. They just get to play and have fun. So any given day, you might see Tad, you come through the block, Tad got all his kids in the damn wagon. He pulling the kids to the park. He taking the kids to the park. Because our big thing has always been children. Always been children. To a certain extent, we wasn't robbed by youth, but I was to a certain extent because I had to be responsible. When I was like 8 years old, Tad was coming to my house when I was living in Staten Island. I was baking chicken. He's like, yo, you get to use the stove. This is when you had to roll the paper up, light it, and go put it under the pilot light. I'm doing that. You understand what I'm saying? So the upbringing we had, I thought I was too intelligent to be stupid. So I would really look and say to people, yo, it's the way you think. And I always say to people, as a man thinketh, that's how you are. I don't like people talking to me a certain way. I don't like people talking to me with too much slang and, you know what I'm talking about and all that. I don't like that. You know why I don't like that? Because you trying to dumb it down to talk to me. Why are you dumbing it down? Let's increase our vocabulary. Let's talk higher because we in elevation. You understand what I'm saying? So, I never wanted to be on the block no more because everybody who was in the block, if we look at an old picture, if it's 10 of us, about 6 of them is deceased. 1 is in prison forever. one smoke crack, and only like 2 of us is doing something. That's not a good ratio
at all.
So to honor my ancestors, to honor my deceased mother, to honor my deceased father, my deceased grandmother, my deceased aunt now, my deceased older brother, my deceased older sister, they have to say, yo, he did it. I remember Mel. Mel was my legal guardian. That's my older brother. Rest in peace. We fought because I didn't want to go to school. And he was like, what you going to do then? Yo, I'm going to make a record. You ain't making no record. But now, in 2021, when they all saw me on Drink Champs, I remember your mother called me, Aunt Sandy, cousin Sandy called me and said, your mother would be so proud of you because you did it. Like you really did it. We fought you, we argued with you, we did everything, but you did it your way. But the ending is you did it.
And look,
go ahead.
And not just that you were on TV, because that's a small part of it.
Right.
That's just part of the kudos to the fact that you was able to financially take care of yourself.
Right.
And with surplus that people could come to you.
Right.
If they was in the bind. And like I said, you were probably the only one who didn't have a job amongst it. But you worked like 2 weeks one time?
Yeah, it was like a month. Worked for Paragon for a month. I still got the ID around here. I remind myself every now and again.
Right. And that's impressive itself because as we talk about freedom, as we talk about choices, people will come from humble beginnings like us and then think they can't move from there. People will be our age, starting off the same playing field as we did, but won't mentally grow up because I talked to some brothers who 60 and 65 plus and still got the street mentality of being a real dude, a hood dude. But the question comes, at what point do you grow from that? Because even if you in the upper echelons of street activity, let's say you moving weight, let's say you moving bricks a week, that's still penitentiary chances where you risking your life. And you can take the model of, just for lack of better examples, let's say a 50 Cent or a Jay-Z, two dudes who we know were street dudes, but they got out the streets and went into another atmosphere, a whole nother tax bracket to where they're not taking penitentiary chances. They're not worried about going to jail. And if they need somebody to lay something down, they got licensed, hired, bonded security.
I want to say something that's very important.
Off the block, telling him lay something down for you.
I want to say something very important. And this is one for people to use where it applies to you. I had every excuse to fail. I had every excuse to fail and I never used them. I never used an excuse, fail. I got excuses. I got reasons. Every reason you could think of why people are mentally insane, why people are homeless, why people teeth is out their mouth, why people's in jail. I had all those excuses besides being physically molested or anything like that. But I had all the other and physically abused. Nothing physical happened to me, but a lot of psychological abuse, a lot of death, a lot of destitution, a lot of, starting behind the 8 ball. I had every excuse to fail. And I never used the excuses because, as my brother used to say, got to figure it out. So if I'm that intelligent as I think I am, as I know I am, the intelligent person is going to figure it out. I'm not going to sit there and try to put the square and try the circle. It don't fit. But if it's a circle fitting there, sometimes it might take a little time. And me, I always knew life was in steps. Sometimes you could skip a step. Sometimes you could skip 2 steps. But it's just steady flow. But sometimes if you try to skip 4, you might fall and now you got to start from the beginning or hurt yourself to where you can't go no more steps. Me, slow and steady wins the race always. I see some people come out the gate. They get all these YouTube views. They get all this acknowledgement. They got more subscribers than me. They might have more fanfare than me to a certain extent. But they don't have 17 years. That's what I got. So shout out to them. Shout out to what everybody's doing. Even the people who throw shots, you can't get me out of character because you're not smart enough. Life is a thinking man game. I got a lot to lose. So if you let's say hypothetically, because everybody rich, everybody, first how we diss black people, how we diss each other is you broke. That's our first thing to say. Yeah, okay. Right. You broke. All right. If you're not broke and your walls do a 360 and you got things the government don't got, and your TVs land out of your bed and you drive foreigns and all that, and you got the most beautiful IG baddies and women in your life, you mean to tell me, and you got children, you mean to tell me you willing to give all of that up over a YouTube argument for somebody you never been in the flesh around? And everybody, huh?
Do you believe these dudes? Do you believe some of these dudes?
It's the perception that they want to give, because it's not whether I believe them, it's the people believe them. That's the problem. We know people are not people. Some people are sheep. One thing I'll never do is lie to the audience, because the first person I lie to is me. I'm not going to lie to me to impress you. It ain't that serious. You know what I'm saying? I could go outside right now and show everybody what I drive. I could show you. Sometimes you tell me, yo, throw the jewelry on, and I said, for what? This is for me. It's not for them. I don't care what nobody's perception is of me. If I'm speaking with intelligence and I'm carrying myself with dignity, integrity, and class, that's all that should matter. That's as a man, though, as a grown man, because I hate when people say as a man too. Please stop saying that. As a man. So what are you then? You got to tell people, as a man, I come to you. What the hell is as a man? So people keep saying that, as a man. The hell, you morph into a puma sometimes or something like that? Like, I'm confused.
You know what, dog? I think right now, where we at in this state of society, a lot of dudes' manhood is in question. I think I love DMX verse. He said one of their mans was a bitch in the disguise. And I think, and this is just my assumption, that some dudes know that there's a code that us as men have to operate in, and a lot of these dudes not, because I think with the advent of the internet, dudes can now be who we know they're not. Dudes can act like they're tough on the internet, because like I could sit here and pop smack from the comforts of my home,
right?
As if I don't have to walk out the door. But we know, quote unquote, as men, if we were standing face to face, you would never fix your mouth to talk to me like that in my face. Right. We know that if a dude's talking about what he's gonna do in terms of violence and getting busy turning up, he's not gonna do it.
Essaying me and all that, like,
right. Because if you're talking about it, you're not gonna do it. Because if you're really gonna do it, you're not gonna talk about it.
One thing I never did.
Fam, just hold that energy. When we see each other, there's nothing to talk about.
It's two things I always say. One, I'm never going to threaten you. I'm always on defense. Always on defense, because I don't got no problem with you. Obviously, you got a problem with me. So you don't like me. So now I hate you. I'm not extending no olive branches to nobody, because I didn't do nothing to you, and I've never been bullied in my life. And again, I'm not no woman. I don't want to have this tumultuous relationship with men. I don't want to fall out with you and we got cool again, then we fell out again. Yo, we fell out, we just out. Because at the end of the day, I didn't grow up with you. I really don't know you.
Right.
And I know I helped you, and you never helped me. I put this platform on the line for so many ungrateful ass men. So many ungrateful ass men. And it's like, this is the thanks I get. All right, fine. I had this weirdo on Twitter call me an idiot. So I was like, that's subjective if I'm an idiot or not. But at least I know you unsure of your gender. You don't even know what gender you are today. You got pearls around your neck and all types of stuff. So although I might be an idiot in your mind, I'm sure about who I am and what I am. You're not even sure, but you're trying to tell me who to vote for, but you don't even know who you are. So how could you tell me who to vote for? Just like what I just tweeted earlier. No man who wears or wore a dress could ever tell me anything, much less who to vote for. Yeah. I don't deal with confusion. I know what time I'm gonna eat. I know what time I'm gonna wake up. I know, you see how we beat time. Yo, I got an hour to such and such.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? We are people who calculate it, because time is everything. One split second, you could lose your life. But I want to drive the point home about the streets. First of all, the streets is over with. All right. if you are any, that's why I say I'll never check in. I tap in with my people when I hit the town, but don't think I got to check in, because if Robert De Niro say, hey, I'm coming to shoot a movie in this neighborhood, y'all not going to make him check in. So to you black men out there from these neighborhoods, stop oppressing black people, because when them old phase come, you bow down. You happy that they did. But when you see me, somebody that look like you from the same similar struggle, that's not there to exploit you, I gotta pay tax and dues to you. Get out of here. You know what I'm saying? The streets is over with. The streets is dead. I don't job shame, whether you the head buyer in Target or whether you sweep the floors in Target. A job is a job. Anything you doing to take care of yourself and your family, you picking up extra shift, I salute you. I'm nice and courteous to the workers wherever I go. You know why? Because you had to ring me out. You had to, is there anything else, sir? I try to make people smile all day because I know how tough life is. So don't, anybody who has a job, I don't care where you work, don't never let these jobless, toothless, white stuff in the corner of their mouth dudes tell you what you not based off what you're doing. Because people who tell you what you not don't be nothing they self, because if you know what a person is doing and what they're sacrificing to get what they get, you respect it. That's why I said the little homie who knocking on my door saying, yo, you got garbage? I could have a pack of chicken, the pack, you know, after you take the chicken out, the pack stink. You got to take that right outside. I might have that in my garbage stinking, but he's willing to smell rank chicken pack for a couple of dollars. I have to respect him. So I ain't gonna say little dude come begging and all that. He's not begging. He's not borrowing. He's not stealing. He's working for it. You got grown ass men who love to sit around and congregate and talk about what me, Doggie Diamonds, don't do for them. When none of those men who say that did anything for me. And what exactly do you want me to do for you? Because if I feed you today, what you gonna eat tomorrow? And like I told people before, hey man, I feel like I'm taking care of your household. So if I decide I want to come in your crib and bust your wife's drawers, I should be able to. I'm the man of the house. I take care of this crib. If I'm paying the rent, feeding y'all, what do you do around here? So if I say everybody got to go to bed, you got to go to bed too. Why? Because I'm paying the cost to be the boss. You understand what I'm saying? So it's a part of my manhood and my pride that makes me say, I got to either get it or do it out. But before I not use my resources, it's no way that I'm going to be like, yo, you know what? I know who I'm going to call. And let's be honest. A lot of y'all had PPP loans. Y'all had opportunities to better yourself. People got settlements. People got lawsuits. And the first thing you did was party and bullshit. Because the problem is, if we can't drink it, smoke it, fuck it, dance to it, or kill it, we don't care. I don't partake in none of those games. So I don't have no empathy for you or no sympathy for you. Because if I give you money, what's the first thing you're going to do? Go get high. I don't get high. I don't drink. So if you selling one drug to get another, I said this like 40 years. If you selling one drug to get another, you're a custody.
Dog, Tom. Because you took us around the world. I'm still laughing because you talking about you about to send homie to bed and bust his wife's drawers.
That's what I'm saying. Yo, go to bed. Me and your wife got something to talk about.
But
she just ate steak on the account of me. You was in here eating bees and franks on. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, like, yo, bro, like, what do you want me to do for you? Because I could give you. So what I've done, a lot of these dudes is eating on YouTube because of me. And I've seen some of them say, nobody never helped me. But you lying. You lying. Let me explain something to you. When you're a grown man and somebody calls you and say, yo, how you doing? I'm good. No. How's your mental health? Where you at right now? That's somebody that care about you. I might not have always been able to give you $2, $3, $5, but I breathed life into you and told you you served a purpose. Many people don't know their purpose. So if I say to you, nah, yo, you important out here. You're important to your children. When the last time somebody called you with opportunity?
Word.
That goes for anybody in the audience. When the last time somebody called you and said, yo, they hiring at such and such. They hiring at my job. Yo, this over there. Yo, they got watermelon with seeds over on Pickett. People don't call you with nothing. People only call you with problems and when they need something. And then when you don't give them what they need, then you a F boy or a F girl, or I needed this. But you always need something. You always in need.
Offering. So, Dog, real quick, because I don't want to go too far because you hitting a lot of points.
I'm crazy. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I talk for a living, so you know.
Yeah. So the streets is dead.
The streets is over.
I think we can agree with that.
The code is gone.
Right. The code is gone.
And it was stupid in the first place.
Right. And that's where I wanted to go. What is it that you think that folks are so beholden to this street code, to this street culture that never served us? I mean, well, I won't say never served us, but don't serve us today. It's like you cross a river, you need a boat to get across that river. But once you get to the other side, do you still carry the boat or do you leave it where it's at and continue your journey? Because unfortunately, like we said, there's a section of YouTube called the YouTube streets. What is it about this code that some dudes think is so important, so valuable? Do you think they're stuck, or it's just the fact that in their heart of hearts, they know they can't move beyond this little circle called being a hood dude or the streets? Because we all got it in us.
Right, or come from it. It's a combination of all.
And we're supposed to move up and out of that when you get to a certain age. Because me personally, and just speaking for Tad and nobody else, I don't want to be a 60-year-old dude still taking penitentiary chances.
Right,
I don't want to be a 60-year-old dude still reliving the glory days. That's why I call my company Better Days Ahead, because my best days are ahead of me, not behind me. But we still see some dudes living in the glory days of 1988, 1989, talking about what they did in 76. Right. How does that serve you today when you got a family, grandchildren, like you got a whole
remember though, Tad, if people love to tell their history from a narcissistic first person standpoint or almost third person, right? But it's always narcissistic. If you let people tell their history, they didn't take no losses, they never got smacked, they never got robbed, they never got shot, they always was the victim. Right? I sat here and said all the losses that I took, and then my friends, and then I have other personal losses that I took that had nothing to do with nobody but me, because that's what shapes you to be who you are, right? But this was early. We talking at 12 years old. I had a plan for myself. At 12, I had a plan. I want to do this and I want to do this and do that, and stood with it steadfast to do that. The street thing is a part of an agenda to keep us somewhere, to dumb us down, to fuel us as the currency. How are we the currency? Jail is a big currency. Hospital bills is currency. Big pharma, people needing medications, is a currency. And the morgue is a currency. All that is currency. So you got the morgue, you got the funeral homes, you got the plot. All of that is currency. We the commodity. So if you a person that's perpetuating any of these things, you're going to land in one of them places.
And that's big business.
And that's big business.
Black suffering is big business.
Yeah. The pain of Black people is the biggest market across the world. Not just here in America, but across the world. We have places right now where you have ethnic cleansing. I ain't gonna say too much because YouTube is funny style, especially when they hear my voice. But just again, you know what I'm saying? But across the world, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Across the world, it's big business. Our pain and suffering. The only people who don't know that is us, because why? We think everything is cute and funny. Like I said, if we can't dance to it, party to it, smoke it, drink it, sleep with it, laugh at it, we the only people I know that somebody be going through a hardship and we think it's funny. Somebody fall and bust their head, we think it's funny. Somebody punch somebody, we think it's funny. If I have on a scarf in the winter, they'll be like, this nigga got on a scarf. If I'm drinking, this nigga drinking water. We think everything is funny. You know what I'm saying? So we forgot morals, values, and principles. You understand what I'm saying? It's very, very important. And you elevate. What you do as a youth, what you do in youth As you know better, you do better. So once you learn between right and wrong as a child, you should know that as an adult. You should know if I sell crack, I could go to jail. I could poison somebody, because you can't be for black empowerment if you poison your community. You automatically disqualify from that conversation. You can't have that conversation. And we all did it in youth, not knowing any better, but now we know better. We know about chemical warfare. We know about biological warfare and psychological warfare. And I know how crack decimated my own family, in particular, my father. You understand what I'm saying? So when people be like, yo, you watch Power and all, I say, no, I lived it. I don't want to be reminded. I don't want to be triggered by what I saw in my house. I remember being in school and they saying crack is whack and they show capsules and I'm like, damn, those shits be in my house. Somebody in my house is a crackhead. But you would never think it's your parent. You understand what I'm saying? So going from those traumas, I'm not trying to trauma bond. I always say this to my audience. I'm not trying to trauma bond with you. I ain't trying to outside you. I ain't trying to say, yeah, it's because of the conditions. How much of the conditions do you contribute to? If you pissing in your elevator, if you dumping blunt guts in your elevator, and your mama's at work and your mama got to come home and step over human piss and blunt guts that her child did, you made your mother living conditions bad. You did that. So when they come and say, you know what, we're going to kick everybody out of this development and we're going to make it co-op, they gentrifying everything. No, because you lessened the value of it. You did that. So accountability, responsibility for self mean a lot. But the street dude, listen, the biggest thing on a man will never be his genitalia, never be his bank account, never be anything. It will always be his ego. Right? And none of us want to get punked. But when the police say freeze, we hit that ground. You know what I'm saying? So somebody is punking you per se. And I don't have an ego. When people say stuff to me, I'll be like, come on, man. I'll bite this dude's nose off and spit it in his face, because people don't even know how far you gonna go. They be talking and you be like, all right, I hear you. But again, the street, I'm worried about being street. What does the streets only take? The streets don't give.
Nope.
The streets take lives. It takes families. It take everything from you. Right on that block you claim will be your blood laying on the ground. They gonna do a crime scene. The firemen gonna come wash your blood away, and they're gonna put candles on the ground for you. So any grown man who made it out of that vicious cycle of the streets and the hood and all that, if you still want to do that, then you got growing to do. And I say, if that's what you want to do, fine. Just don't project it onto others. Just don't push it onto others, because you know you suffering. You know, if you say, I gotta go outside and make a couple of dollars so I could get dinner, you know what that suffrage is like. So the whole street thing, and the YouTube streets became a slang that they could say, because it's all inclusive, because everybody could be on YouTube. So dudes who might have grew up in rural Nebraska right now that don't know nothing about street, don't know the slang or the vernacular of how we walk and how we talk, get to cosplay a street dude via the internet. Because if you really was on them streets and them L's that you took, because we take more L's than we get wins. If you really took them L's in the street and you was able to change your life and finagle it into legitimate business, you don't even want that no more.
At all.
I don't even go to the hood. No, I love the hood. I love everybody in the hood. They know I love them. But the minute it's certain energies that I'll go around and say, that's why I'm fucking the hood. Yeah. That's why I don't go to the hood. Because it's like, I love to see people alive, but I can't be around the despair in the people that's just destitute. And I see people deteriorate right before my eyes. And I was one of the ones that was behind you, or I was one of the ones saying to you, yo, we gotta, or you gotta. And then I started saying, now I gotta, because I can't, a lot of people be dead weight. I ain't no fireman. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to carry nobody. And listen, my back is broke, because even me being the youngest of everybody, I carried everybody for a long time. But again, I'm an F dude. I didn't continue doing what I did. It's always something to say about what I didn't do. But what about what I did, though? I don't get credit for nothing I did ever. So I said, you know what? If I'm an F dude, I'm going to be the best one. I'm gonna give y'all something to talk about, because I'm at the point when you push a loyal person to the point where they don't care, that's it. You know what I'm saying? Yo, I seen murder firsthand. I seen blood. I seen your blood.
Yeah.
Firsthand.
Yeah.
We were young. I seen you. The dude shot at us.
I bled more times than I care to remember.
Yeah, the dude shot at us, but hit you in real time. I'm like, this don't feel too good. Like, I ain't really signed up for this part of it.
And you know what's crazy, dog? Because we always say that was just one of many times.
Right.
One of many times. On our way to school. On our way home from school, getting popped at. I don't think people understood. And that's what, when I see people this day and age, because I'm over 50 now, and I'm thankful. In fact, for my 50th birthday, I got so many calls, everybody saying, yo, bro, you made it. You made it. And I appreciate that.
That's not a badge of honor, 50.
Yeah.
It's not a badge of honor.
You know what I'm saying? It's supposed to be 50.
Right. You're supposed to get old. You're supposed to.
But when you in that paradigm and that lifestyle, we know, like we said, we lost so many homies that didn't make it that far. And that's an indictment on where we are as a community, particularly dudes who still want to be that. Because if you got something to prove over 40 years old, over 30 years old, if you still got something to prove to street dudes, then that means you was never really that.
You failed already.
Because you still got something to prove. If you already done, if you already won a championship out here, you're supposed to retire gracefully. You're supposed to bow out gracefully before you get benched by the penal system or the ops in the street or whatever, because there's a myriad of things, because it's not just the violence. It's not just the police. You got to think about the addictions, whether it's drugs, alcohol, sex, all of these things are real, or even the bad diets. Even the bad diets of constantly clubbing.
The bad thing.
The wrong thing in the middle of the night, all that stuff take its toll down the line. Because when you think how many dudes our age is like literally washed up.
Right. But then this is the thing too. That's why I said as a man thinketh, because you do have people who are so poisonous that they could see 5 dudes doing good and they'll go whisper in 2 dudes' ear, yo, I don't know about them other 3 dudes.
Yeah.
That's a lot that goes on in where we're from. Because I hate to say, let me explain something to y'all too. The black community doesn't exist. Could y'all stop saying the community? The community. Listen, I don't know what's going on in Watts right now. The only similarity that we have is that we black and we come from struggle. But the way they walk, the way they talk, the way they dress, and their stores and all that, I don't know. Stop. We're not a monolith. Stop painting us as one. Word. We're not even one. We don't agree on
half. Lost that a long time ago.
Oh, I froze too.
Yeah. You back.
You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, I froze. I'll be right back. This program be wilding sometimes, but I'm here. So again, with this whole community thing and the black community and the community this, and we do this and we do that. Listen, man, all of these dudes is pandering for your money, for your attention, and for the women. You understand what I'm saying? Because anything you're going to do, you're not going to be saying you're going to do it. You just going to do it. If you a street dude and you're going to get at somebody, you're going to get at them. You're not going to say what you're going to do. All of this talking is so much excessive talking because the low vibrational stuff is something that quenches our need to see somebody doing less than us and doing better than us. So you can say, damn, I'm messed up, but I ain't eating no snails. You know, these dudes is eating snails. And then first thing they say, y'all eating snails. We eating this. Or everything is for like a stupid show and it don't matter. You understand? So now the streets, now we're trying to prove that I'm streeter than you.
Yeah.
I'm more street. I did this. I did this. And then again, when you say something, and if you talk about it from an educational standpoint, where for prevention, that's one thing. But you can't be somebody who talk in prevention, but then you also glorifying. Because you're like, damn, if you did 27 years and you was getting soups and you had a store and you was getting jewelry and you always had sneakers, I could do it too.
Yeah.
You don't tell people about the night you cried every night. the nights you heard scream of people losing their mind, the nights that you knew your cousin died or a close friend died and you couldn't go to their funeral and you ain't going to be able to visit their gravesite for another 10 years. The people that you lost contact with. So start telling people the horror story. Stop glorifying struggle, trauma, and pain, because there's nothing to glorify. And that's the element of the streets, why everybody want to be street, because they think it's a glorification because it's rewarded. Bad behavior is rewarded. You know, so people think, yeah, and everybody want a story to tell. Yeah, I did this and did that. Now you ain't shit. So what is that all mean?
Pretty Black used to say. We got an OG in our hood named Pretty Black. Always say, yesterday's score don't win today's game.
Yo, listen.
About what you used to do, what you doing now.
Listen, the street thing, again, I was very, very observant. And I'm happy I didn't have to do a lot of things because I chose not to. Like, what was the end result of this? I didn't wake up today and say, you know what? I'm going to jail for 25 years. I see y'all in 25 years.
Whoa.
You know what? I'm going to do 5 years. You know what, y'all? I'm going to go get killed. But yo, you can have my sneakers. You can have the turntables. You keep my chain. You got to say, yo, how could I be smart? How could I survive what's going on, be amongst it, but not be in it? Because a lot of people don't know too, in our youth, the way Brooklyn was structured, you either was the prey or the predator.
Yeah.
It was just going down. So it's like, yo,
in between.
Our whole reason for doing what we was doing was to protect each other, because a lot of people that we was around was immediate blood-related family.
You know, it's funny you say that, because I shared that with Kayla one time. One of the things that was beautiful about our upbringing, being in the village, is that we were the group.
Right.
It was me, you, Soup, Blacko, Noon, Frico, Mono. You know, it was at least 8 of us easy, and that's not even counting Atlantic Terminal. That's not counting
right on the block.
We were already, say it again.
Juicy and Jay, right on the block.
Juicy and Jay, right. You know, and they're cousins, you know, so we were families within the family.
Mm-hmm.
And we always had each other's back, and we was already protected. So there was no real peer pressure amongst us, because you're not going to influence or threaten one, and you got another 8 to 10 dudes you really got to contend with, who really ready to go out and bleed for one another. And I think that's what helped us keep the whole hood safe. Shout out to Big Man, who know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Shout out to A.A. Rashid, dudes who were part of our family. If you from our hood, you part of it, because what we knew was that every dude wasn't like us. Because one thing we could say is the men in our family, prior to drugs destroying the families, they taught us to be men. Remember, we always got boxing gloves.
You said at the same time. We had boxing gloves.
We always got boxing gloves. Yo, y'all stand in the middle of the living room and duke it out.
Yo, shout out to my cousin Poe. Poe, you was ass when we was little. You always cried.
But ain't nobody trying to fight Poe now.
Yeah, word. But
like 6'20".
Word. But see, the deal is with the street dude, and I could say that I'm proud of some of us. Poe got a career job. You got a career job. I got a career job. Now, although some of us in the family might have slipped through the cracks,
yeah,
the ones that people was most worried about actually did something with themselves.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And again, I got every excuse to use. I just ain't using them.
Because I was the worst. Tad acting crazy.
Yeah, but again, But I laugh at people sometimes. I say, you know, y'all see Tad, he might have his glasses on, got a flapjack hat on, pea coat and slacks, and just walking. But again, you know, this is what I'm saying. People look at people and you don't look the part. Right? But the real gangsters are politicians. They don't wear hoodies. They don't wear t-shirts. They don't wear sneakers. They wear suits.
And ties, yeah.
And you know it's the most powerful tool? It ain't even a gun. It's a damn pen. They sign law with a pen. And then make you go out and do something with your tool. And all he used was a pen. A damn ink pen. Signs law. And we can't do nothing about it. We out there savage over what he signed. But, you know, sometimes it seems like when we talk, we have these discussions. These are regular talks that we have regularly. I've been having it since you see me on any platform. That's why my Drink Champs was all about intelligence, right? The problem is, it seems like we're sitting on a soapbox and we're complaining, because people like to say I complain a lot. Now, I have a family, I have a village, I have children. And the most important members of my family is the children, right? So when they see me, I have the babies who see me, like my niece, Uncle, I saw you on YouTube. I thought that was your last. She's talking to me. I thought that was your last YouTube. I thought you said you're not doing YouTube no more. I'm like, yo, you watch too much. So I'm mindful that the baby could be watching me. So I don't say certain stuff. I still got to get my point across, but I got to make it palatable for a 7-year-old, a 17-year-old, or a 77-year-old. Everybody got to be able to understand the language if you're really going to be a good orator and convey your message, right? We doing all this stuff, not instilling no future for children. No future for children. If you out there, so when you pass away or you go to jail, right? Imagine the sufferings your family go through. So you really are selfish at the same time. When you out here on the streets, you making the streets unsafe. You out here being a savage. Your mother lives here.
Yeah.
Everybody don't care. Oh, that's Miss such and such. Let me respect her, because you're going to have somebody like your bastard ass that's like, yo, I don't care about his mother. The way you don't care about somebody's mother, somebody not going to care about yours. Now, if you get incarcerated or you deceased, who going to take care of your mama? Who going to protect your mother? Who going to protect your children? Who going to protect your grandchildren? A lot of these dudes is grandfathers, but then when it's convenient, they want to talk about how they a father and all this stuff, but they don't do nothing. They think
My kids.
I gotta feed my kids. Listen, feeding children is more than your children, because what come out of your mouth, you feeding other people's children. And
Yep.
regardless, we all somebody child, whether
And
we
we
grown
show
up or
up.
not. We all somebody child though.
Yeah.
We all somebody child. You so how you carry yourself. I'm like, yo, this dude don't got no dignity. Yo, I'm into dignity. That's the only thing, because you know what? Anytime grandma or anybody watch me, they can't say he was acting a fool. You know why? Because they didn't raise me like that.
That's a fact.
They didn't raise me like that. I remember when we first was sexually active and your mother thought she was having a birds and the bees conversation with us. And they older than me, him and his brother older than me, they getting busy. And they moms looked at me like, you too? I'm like, yo.
Yo, she got so mad.
Yeah, niggas came through with 40s and blunts. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, again.
When she kicked us out the room, she's like,
yo, our punishment was go outside.
Word.
Get out this house. Please get out this house. But again, we got to drive the point home that you not no sucker or less than a man because you're manning up. Being a man is making sure your family is straight. Not with this by any means necessary stuff. Sometimes you got to put on that shirt. Sometimes you got to say, welcome to such and such. May I help you? You know, police ain't kicking in your door. Jack boys ain't kicking in your door. Jealous dudes ain't kicking in your door. You on paper. Because when you on parole, you on paper. When you dead, your obituary's on paper. Why not go to legitimate paper? You understand? So a lot of times when I see dudes, I be like, yo, you know what? Everybody not ready for everything too. So a lot of times when I be shirking dudes, or I be like, yo, nah, I ain't rocking with him. Yo, he not ready. Yo, you not ready.
So when the student's ready, the teacher will appear.
Yeah, no, you're not ready. You're not ready. You still have a mentality. That's why I say how you think is everything. And after you done lost your teeth, you done got knocked out, after you done got kicked in your ass, all types of stuff. When you gonna be ready?
Lord.
Maybe you never gonna be ready. But guess what? I could throw you a life preserver, but I ain't getting in that water with you. And then after a while, you don't deserve a life preserver. You understand? So when the dudes give up, worst thing you could do is give up. And a lot of dudes give up, so now they want to piss in the pool. You know what I'm saying? But the street thing, yo, you supposed to, that's a growing pains. But what happened to grown men? What happened to our Mr. Nixons?
God bless.
What happened to our Mr. Daves? What happened to our judge? What happened to the men that we seen in the hood?
Chester,
Mr. Get
Cheto,
yo, but listen, remember,
yeah.
you had people like Mr. Dave, who lived down the block from us, get up and put on a suit every day of his life. That was his dress of choice, was a suit.
Yep.
Now we got dudes who's being run by the little homies because the little homies got a bag, or a little homie put in some work somewhere. So now he become the big homie. Y'all got it twisted of what this thing really is, because y'all let money be y'all God. But you don't even want money to be responsible. You ain't trying to build no village. You're not trying to get no property. You ain't trying to do nothing. You're trying to get high and drunk and celebrate the money and find people who you could oppress. Some of the biggest oppressors of black people are black people.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of money, because it's funny because, you know, you and I always have these adult age appropriate conversations. We talk about finances,
cologne,
and just making better decisions and being better people. Money. Because this seems like to be a point of contention, because I see a lot of people take a vow of poverty. Money ain't shit. Money don't. Like, I mean, me personally, I'm not a capitalist per se, but I do see the value in money in its proper use. It's not in the acquisition of money that has the value, but what you do with it. Right. What's your thoughts on that? Poor righteous teachers.
I'm not poor. I'm righteous sometimes because I like titties and, you know, BJs and stuff like other men like, you know what I'm saying? No, for real. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna sit here and cap and be like, no.
Said, me too.
Word. I like big boobs. I like BJ. You know what I'm saying? Preferably both at the same time if we could do it. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I'm the type of individual where I like to be honest with myself. And I come from nothing. And if I'm for the preservation of family, building a family, preserving the family, it's gonna take money. All wars are fought over money and funded by money. So when you see a dude sit before you say, thank you for sponsoring this war, why does he say that? After you gave him money. What war are you fighting? You're not fighting a war. The biggest war that some people have is the war with themselves, or the war with that bottle, or the war of their mind, or the war of that alcohol, or the war of their deviance. So money is very, very essential and important because we got a legacy to fulfill. If we leave the proper instruction, our legacy is forever. Your last name becomes your legacy. Walmart is somebody's name.
Hilton. Heinz.
Everything we love is somebody's name, but our names mean nothing. You know, so money is very, very important. And I understand why some people might resent money. You know why they might resent money? Because they're going through tough times and they might be around somebody who judges them or treats them a certain way because they don't have capital. So instead of them getting away from the person, changing their lifestyle to get the capital, they'll war with money. Money not going nowhere.
Word.
It's going to be here during
and you curse it when you say things like that. You actually push it away from you.
Look, it was
you
a
start
dude
talking bad about money.
Listen, everybody know my history. I used to share my platform with people. Person in particular used to say money ain't nothing, but had his Cash App on the screen. So you got people who are hypocrites, but what they're really saying is, I don't care about people who got money because that don't make them this, that, and the third. Listen, man, let me explain something to you. If you ever been hungry in life where you eating cheese and that red plastic is around the cheese and you don't even know you're supposed to take that red plastic off,
or the
baloney plastic. If you ate Spam out of the can and that jelly, and sometimes you might heat it up and fry it, and sometimes you might cut it and eat it. If you ever been destitute, poor, then you know what money means. And money should never change your value system. See, they think money means change your values. It don't. Right. Money just means I'm not struggling
financially.
Because
there's people. Look at Robert was it Robin Williams? He had money, but he was still struggling. What's the dude that deleted himself? Anthony Bourdain?
Or Anthony Bourdain, whatever how you pronounce
Yeah,
the name.
yeah, Anthony Bourdain. He had money, but he was struggling. And people don't realize money helps your financial struggles, but you gotta work on internal. I like what Sister Fonessa said. Facts. Money is an energy, and energy is money. Hashtag affirmation. There's a book called The Psychology of Money that I think people should read, because money is energy. It's like Shorty who came and knocked on your door. He's creating opportunities for himself, as opposed to saying, I don't have money. He said, how can I get some money?
Right.
And then said, I'll do this. And he's making it manifest. Who knows? Years down the line, he may own his own sanitation company.
Right. Because I was going to say that after a while, they might say, hey, he could be in charge of the trash compactor, because every community has a trash compactor. But this is also the thing, right?
You have to create your opportunities. Yeah.
If money can change your MVP, which is your morals, values, and principles, that's a problem. But think about this. If it said female who show her body on OnlyFans and make money, she ain't get no money from me.
Right.
But who am I to say you shouldn't be doing that if I can't feed you? See, there's also a thing, if you can't feed somebody, you shouldn't tell them how to eat. If she's okay doing that, who am I? Only people it might hurt in the long run is her children. But most rich people, and when you talk about wealthy people, children have psychological problems.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you know what else is a psychological problem? Poverty.
Yeah.
Not having nowhere to stay, moving to and fro, being in shelters, not being in the school, not being able to make friends, moving from borough to borough, state to state. That's a problem as well, too. So you got to pick your poison. So again, like when women be trying to feel for Cardi B and try to trauma bond with her, Offset is wrong. I say, look, the difference between you and her is you crying in the projects and she crying in the Lamborghini. What would you rather be? You know what I'm saying? So y'all be trying to identify with people based off of what they have and they don't have. I identify with me. See, knowledge of self. The key thing in that is know yourself. There's no doctrine that could give you knowledge of self. You could say, yo, if I eat this, remember we were saying how we used to drink Kool-Aid. We both used to get a bump on our nose.
Word. But
Same
25 cents, boy.
25 cents, some sugar and some water, that government soda, tap water. Hey, we lit.
Remember, we got creative and started making slushies.
Blending it. Yeah, we started blending it. The blueberry came out like, yo, but then you go outside the next day, you got this big thing on your nose. It's like, yo, what is doing that? Yo, it's the Kool-Aid. That's what knowledge of yourself is. I can't eat this. This might give me a gout flare up. This give me a headache. That's knowledge of yourself. Stop thinking knowledge of self is a doctrine. It's you and how you live. Word. It's your culture. It's what you create for yourself.
Your benefit.
It's just like culture. People be like, for the culture, for the culture. Cultures are different. Some people cultures remove your hat when you come in the house. Some people cultures the kiss on the cheek, kiss each other on the cheek. Stop saying, again, we're not a monolith. What you do in your crib, I might not want to do that. I might drop deuces with the bathroom open. Bathroom door, but everybody in the crib might do that. I'm like, yo, why you don't close the door? We never close the door. That's their culture and customs.
Yep.
But when it comes to black people, we think we all are the same. We're not. And we have to respect different people's ways of life. And that's why you got some people that now the way that they think they could strike back at the system and the man or even the ops is by being a street guy, is being this aggressive echo dude, but you really a scared bitch boy. Most of the dude who's really, really street dudes, you're really a scared bitch boy. Because if you really, really knew what it was to be a street guy, you wouldn't want to be that.
Word. You want to get out now.
It's no growth from it. Yo, you only got two ways out.
Death in jail.
Death in jail. And like grandma said, they'll make room for you.
Word. Whichever way you go.
There's always a place that's never too crowded for you. Jail or the morgue. You'll just be on top of somebody in either of the places. They'll pack you in the cell like sardines, or they'll pack you in the morgue like sardines and freeze you. You know what I'm saying? And both of them. So it's like with your audience, and what this show is like when I spoke to you about creating this show and the name of the show, it was about, to me, it was about older men who are still of age, still active, who still can talk from a street perspective, know that that ain't about nothing, and be able to give the youth some type of leeway to get out. Because I got scars, I got stab wounds older than some of y'all. He got bullet wounds older than some of y'all. We come from that. It ain't cool. It ain't cute. And nobody gave us a silver spoon. We don't have nobody rich in our family. Nobody said, hey, here goes $1 million. We didn't get no inheritance. We didn't get nothing. All we had.
Working on it.
Yeah, we working on that. But that's for the next generation, because what they didn't do for us, we want to be able to do for them. Because when it comes to me and him and our family, the most important part is the children. I just with my niece today, bought her 2 pairs of sneakers. She got diamond earrings. She's 7, diamond earrings. And I had to put screwbacks on them. You know what I'm saying? But my thing is, this baby is always going to have something of value that she can have forever. These are my diamond earrings from when I was 7. They're diamond.
Right.
3/4 of a carat diamond. She's 7 years old. I bought them when she was 5. So she can say, I had these for 48 years. You know what I'm saying? And then pass them down. Now they become an heirloom. When you turn 7, you get these earrings. When you turn this, you get these earrings. That's how we create culture, customs, and this is our family tradition.
And generational wealth, because like you said, an heirloom, something that's still worth something, especially with time.
This is what I'm saying.
I like that you brought that up, because one of the things I wanted to say about the other side of being a street dude is that you get to go to foreign places now.
Right.
You get to go to tropical places. Right. As to when we was brought up, we didn't go, like, our beach was Coney Island. Nobody was going to Miami and Cancun.
Pebble Beach.
Yeah, stupid. Pebble Beach is proof projects for those who don't know.
Right.
You know, we try to let people know that there's another side to the element. Because you can't get stuck in that paradigm of being a street dude. Even if you got the money to go away, you don't want to take that attitude with you of being a criminal and then say people are racist when it's not your race. It's the way you're showing up to this place, acting out as if, you know, that criminal element fly here. You're not on Fulton Street. You're not on Nostrand Ave. You are in Mexico. You are in Puerto Rico. You are in wherever you go to get out of the hood environment. You can't take the mentality with you. And this is one of the things we try to share with people too, because as you said, when we came up with the concept, because you came up with the name OG Wisdom, it's to show people there is a way out. For women with teenage sons who may not have a father figure, there is a way out. Right. Some people know, some people may not know that I've done so many programs I started myself to help our young people, as well as a volunteer Boy Scout troop leader to help our young people. So we've always operated in service to help those behind us, because we feel obligated to give back to those who's coming behind us. Other than that, with value and meaning.
Right. And let me say one thing. And one of the main reasons why we feel the need to contribute to the neighborhood, because we was a part of taking from it.
That too.
We was part of the robberies. We was part of the crime. We was a part of that. We was there partaking in all the dumb shit. And once you know better, you do. Remember the time we caught that kid? He had 50 cents in his pocket, 2 quarters. Was you there?
Yeah, I don't think I was there, but I heard about it.
Yo, robbed the kid. He had 50 cents. That's why I was like, yo, I quit. I don't want to do this no more. Ain't no money in this no more. Let's go to Midtown.
Yeah.
Let's hit them dudes. Let's hit them bleach people. They, you know what I'm saying?
That's a story within itself, man.
Yeah, you understand what I'm saying? So again, and that's what we watched Mississippi burning one day. Like, so we was getting sprinkles of the knowledge, and we was like, yo, we gotta change the way we do stuff, because we doing stuff to us. Like, yo, we can't be doing stuff to us. We didn't do it. So that's why I can see my Decepticon brothers now and be like, yo, we was oppressing each other's kids. I could see my Autobot brothers, and one of the leaders of the Autobots, we talk all the time. You know what I'm saying? We could talk because they're grown men now. And we hated each other.
How foolish it was when we were young.
Fed blood on each other. But now we're grown men that don't have a lifelong beef. And even they will say it's people within their family that they had to move away from because they didn't grow yet. And these are goons. Was our opposition. We were theirs. Seeing each other is up. Listen, I don't care where it's at. The movie theaters is up. You with your mother, it's up. You know, so
Cooking
now they're
bones and
grown.
blood everywhere.
Yeah, now they're grown with children. And the deal is with this whole street thing. First thing y'all do is y'all grab your phone, like, we out here, we out here. So with stray cats. Stray
So
cats
with
is outside too. Yeah, stray cats is outside more. And a stray cat is a more survivor than anybody because he got to eat every day. He got to try not to get ran over. And he got to find shelter when it's hot and it's cold and have babies in the street. So you ain't more alive than a stray cat. Stray cat they got a whole game where it's a cat in the city going around. It's a whole video game where the cat got to survive the city, roaming around the city, climbing fences, you know. So again, I know it sounds good. I know the whole story sounds good. The Nas story sounds good. The 50 Cent sound, but then 50 Cent also said he got some hot ones put in him.
Yeah.
Jay-Z also told you they shot the Haven up. So it's a lot of losses in this. And for the older guys, listen, all I say is be who you gonna be. Just don't pull nobody with you. Because like I like to say, yo, when I don't like to extend my hand sometimes, I don't know if I'm gonna pull you up, but you're gonna pull me down now. And it's a lot of pulling down now. It's a lot of, yo, misery loves company. I see y'all ladies on Facebook, y'all going live talking about your friends, your family, your siblings, your man and all that. That's not cool. You know, a lot of times people, if they don't have something negative to say, they don't say nothing. And you got to start supporting people's efforts because it is people who's trying. They don't have the traction. They don't have the capital. They don't have the numbers. But you are the people. You make the difference. Stop saying society. You make up society. Stop saying we need leaders. You are the leader of your house. We don't got no elders. You are the elder now. I remember you said that to me years ago. Yo, we the elders now.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times I realized that people, once they get the popularity that they wanted, I'd be like, damn, he must have been a late bloomer. And I'm like, he must have just started getting boxed because look how he act.
Yeah.
So when you see a dude, the sisters, I love the sisters. I love the sisters. I love the sisters. Like, yo, hold on, who act like that?
Somebody who never got sisters before.
That's what I'm saying. I see black women, I'll be like, damn, black women is beautiful, but you're not going to cut my throat. Especially if I'm building. You understand what I'm saying? But you see a dude like this. I love the sisters. I love the sisters. Like, yo, hold on. And then we got black men who like to tell you about family, you don't have one. We got black men who like to tell you about marriage and never been married. We got black men to tell you how women are. They got multiple baby mothers and can't work out nothing with none of them. Yo, stop listening to people who do not practice what they preach or do not apply what they say to you, because I'm never going to
have no social proof.
Right. And I'm never going to tell you to do anything that I haven't done.
Right.
Or won't do. You understand what I'm saying? And me as an individual, I still got growing to do. But I'm trying. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not trying, I'm doing, as a matter of fact, because trying is a part of failing. I'm doing. But again, when you have a village, sometimes I call you and I say, yo, Tad, am I tripping? Because I got my counsel. I got people out, and I'm going to tell y'all, I only listen to people who I know love me. So I know a lot of y'all sometimes be trying to, what you should do now is, I hear you, fam. But I don't know if you're trying to steer me in the wrong direction. So sometimes I seek counsel and say, yo, how should I perceive this? Because I could go off the deep end. I could do something. I could be the street dude. Yo, I'm an individual who has a whole army with me. And I never activate them. Why? Because it's casualties in war. Just like I could send somebody to harm some.
I could say this personally. Doggie has saved so many people. I don't think people understand because they see you by yourself often.
Yeah.
But you know, I get the phone calls like, yo, I saw such and such. Yo, what up? What we doing? Yeah. I'll tell you, yo, such and such call. They said, like, tell them, nah, chill, stand down, stand down. It was so funny. You and Big pretty much took that approach. I think because both of y'all know how it ends. Because even with the East Coast, West Coast thing, a lot of people say Big was like, nah, chill, leave some things alone. You know what I'm saying? Because he could have snapped his finger and things would have turned up for anybody. Same way with you. You know what I'm saying? Because some people know, like, if you know me, then you know.
Right.
We not having a conversation. you know.
I
But
get the
I
calls
tell
from
people,
jail.
Doggie have saved so many lives. I don't think y'all get it, and it'll come from people don't expect.
But
I
even
like
the
that.
jail,
Real
Tab,
quick.
but listen, though, even the jails run the
Right.
streets, right? And
Right.
I get calls from people in prison that say, "Yo, who does such and such do?" Man, yo,
One
niggas not.
thing I'll say real quick: when you and Wack got into it,
Uh-huh.
I like because I heard Wack said he said, "Yo, I ain't gonna lie," and shout out to Wack 100. Love him or hate him, it is what it is. He said publicly, "Yo, I called my peoples in New York, and they told me you need permission to touch Doggie Diamonds, and I don't got permission." And that's a fact. Like, and permission from who though?
Right.
You really, it's just a figure of speech, but it means like ain't nobody gonna green like Doggie.
Right.
And even if somebody did think they was gonna do that, you're gonna get met with some serious opposition that you didn't know exists. Because Doggie's one of the few people that don't have an entourage. He's not out here like some of your favorite YouTubers who can't even go to their own block without getting shot or shot at. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like it's people I've met. They was like, "Oh, you know, Doggie is I met him. He cool. I seen him by himself." I said, "You always they see him by himself."
On the pedal bike most of the time too. I be pedaling, riding around. You know what I'm saying? But but I realize, see, it being in this space, you gotta shake hands, kiss babies, and show and walk amongst your people. That's what I always felt like. Damn, I've never been scared of nobody in the street. Why would I be scared of somebody talking stupid on YouTube? Like, you're gonna crack. See, and again, before I go, and I have to say this on your platform. People look at people. Don't confuse your numbers with supporters. The car crash causes what? Traffic. The same synonymous traffic with numbers. The traffic is not happening because of the crash. The traffic is happening because everybody want to look at the crash. Everybody's rubbernecking. The crash never really happens on the road. The crash is out the way, but everybody's looking. So don't confuse your numbers and people looking at you with you have supporters. You have people who want to watch you crash because they know you're going to crash night in and night out for people, for points, for money, and for fame. I just got on camera in 2015. I didn't even want to be on camera. I didn't do this to be on camera. I just wanted to do beats and be behind the scene. But due to other people, uncontested lies starts to look like the truth. So I got on camera to contest some of them lies and show what the truth really was. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I got on camera. But a lot of times people think you got supporters and I got this and I got that. Yeah, people know one night you might just blow your head off. And they want to see it because you're irrational. A lot of y'all are irrational, alcoholics, deviants, and they know you're going to feed that low vibration that we all have. Just like we could be in here listening to Jill Scott and Kim, and then next minute we turn on, can a nigga get a table dance? And be like, work that thing. Because every now and then we want to hear that. But it's not night in and night out. You understand what I'm saying? Night in and night out, some people give you these street dudes act like they're giving you gems. They never gave away a book bag. They never gave away a turkey. They never did anything for their community. But they act like they're here to save you and your family via their word, but they're not proactive with any of their actions. Don't conflate the two. We done been on the blocks.
We've done community work. We got documented evidence.
Look, I squashed some of the craziest beef in the hood that was about to go to the guns. You understand what I'm saying? Going to the young dudes, going to the youth and say, yo, I know your mother, I know your mother, I know your mother. Yo, could we get a ceasefire? Do it for me. If y'all look at me as the big homie, respect me because y'all do this for me. You understand what I'm saying? So again, people be conflating fudge numbers, and fake support and fake jewelry and fake rhetoric, regurgitated shit that we debunked a long time ago. We off there. Y'all talking about that? You talking about the boule and all that? Like, this what you saying in 2024? A lot of stuff that's going on done surpassed all them old buzzwords. You understand what I'm saying? But again, if you a baby in knowledge, you starting at A. Some of us is already on W, about to be at Z, and then go from Z to A. So sometimes don't confuse with you being on C, with me being on C, nah, I went from Z back to C. You just getting to C. So you on 3, I'm on 26 coming back. You understand what I'm saying? And again, that don't make me better than nobody. But again, my actions has always showed intelligence. Always. I could get on here, act the ass. Sometimes y'all know my audience know I get on here, I crack jokes, and people, you know, some of the shit that I do, people think it's funny. I be dead serious though. But I study Richard Pryor and all the greats, you know what I'm saying? So I know everything is timing, and we always snapped and cracked jokes and all that stupid stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's just really a lot of my personality, but I'm not going to be something that I'm not for y'all.
Yeah.
I don't have to.
We going into overtime now.
Yeah.
We definitely going to have to do a part 2 because there's
Part 3,
so
part 4, part 5.
Word, there's so much more that I wanted to get into. And I know it's just open a whole nother can of worms. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely appreciate you coming through. What's some wisdom you want to leave the people with as an OG?
I still, you know, I'm an OG to some, but I'm a YG to you. Remember, I'm the youngest cousin. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, so, I mean, in this digital space, in this
digital space, listen, you don't have to do anything that you don't want to do to achieve what you're not willing to stand with. Remember, what you say can and will be used against you in a court of law or a court of an ass whooping. Seriously, because y'all think the world is not that big.
Nope.
So when you say something and you do stuff, nobody has to respect your mother, the mother of your children, or your children. What you say and do can harm others. And then you could put some good out there at the same time. And a lot of times in this space, yo, don't never let nobody tell you what you not, because we all started somewhere. I started with 1 subscriber. I started with 10. I started with 15. I started with 1,500. But I knew what I wanted to do. I knew what I was willing to do. And as long as you know you're willing to do something to make your platform grow, that's within the integrity that you're supposed to be carrying for your children. And because you don't want your children got YouTube, you don't want your children to see you on there arguing, foaming at the mouth with weapons in your hands, talking about what you could do, inviting people to the Frank stand and all that. That's just not age appropriate stuff. So in this digital space, find your niche. Niche is whatever your thing is you're going to do. So my niche should be like hip hop interviews, hip hop culture, pop culture. That's my niche, to discuss that. And then some nights I just venture off, I freestyle, you know. So the niche of OG wisdom would be the perspective of older guys that are former reformed street guys. That's what OG wisdom is. And sometimes they ain't got nothing to do with the streets. Sometimes it might be a workout. Sometimes it might be nutrition. You know what I'm saying? But it's coming from the perspective of somebody who been there, done that. And let me give y'all the wisdom on how to do it. That's what OG wisdom is. Because OG used to mean original gangster. Now when the youth call you OG, they just calling you old. So a lot of y'all who be getting called OG, and then because you put in no work, they just calling you old.
Old goat.
Word. So and it's funny that you say that. Even with GOAT, you had a guy named Bill Gallo who used to write for the New York Daily News, and in the paper he used to have the hero and the GOAT. The GOAT wasn't a good thing at one point. The hero was the good thing. And the GOAT is also the devil. But that's a whole, I ain't gonna get deep on that. But again, in this digital space, support those who you want to see win. It don't take nothing. It's free to hit the like button. It's free to share. And if you've seen something in somebody's video, even tonight, if something resonated with you, stop being stingy. Because the way you could share that fight video, the way you could share them sneakers, the way you could share buffoonery, coonery, and stupidness, you could share, yo, to your 16-year-old cousin, your 16-year-old son. Yo, look what they talking about. Yo, he this, he that. He didn't have no mother. He didn't have this. His mom's passed away too. You don't see him crying. He got this and he got this. He was able to achieve this, even with all them hardships, because people just want to know that that they're capable of overcoming hardships, but they got to have an example. We the example of what overcoming hardships is. We still got a lot of work to do. That's why we still here. Because I'm going to be real with y'all. I could just live my life. I ain't got to talk to nobody about nothing. Truthfully, I could just live my life and chill. But again, what about the children? The children are you. When we look at the children, our genes are so strong. We got so many children that look like us.
Yeah.
So if you could look at the children and see you, how could you not care? So that's what I want to say to these people in this digital space. Be careful what you ingest too, because food is not always what you eat orally. It's what you consume mentally too. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times people might shape your mind and how you think, and it ain't good for you.
At all.
That's cult. That's people worshiping, and that's cult. And again, like I said, I'm not always 100% because you're going to hear me talk about boobs and, you know, certain things because I'm a man. But for the most part, I might give you 5% of that, 95% of one to grow on. But again, when we talk like this as black men, people take it as we complaining. They always mad. They bitter. They jaded. Let me tell y'all something. I live better than a lot of these dudes who run their mouth. I drive better than them. And I ain't a bad looking dude either. And I got ladies who love me. And I don't even use a lot. I don't use none of those trump cards. I just be chilling. And I'm just happy. Oh, listen, sometimes I'll just be happy to be here. Like, damn, I don't got to get up today if I want to. I could just lay here. The content on content. So in this digital space, you could contact me at Doggie Diamonds if you want to know and you want a course of how to get your YouTube popping. If you want to know how to promote your brand in it, at Doggie Diamonds. Doggie Diamonds TV is the business page where it's just content. But me personally is I'm at Doggie Diamonds on all social media platforms. So don't say, I don't know how to get in contact with you. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to keep it real with you. Nothing is free. If you got to pay for a college course, I'm your college course. I might charge you a little, might charge you a lot, but I'm going to charge you because I ain't going to charge you more than that zipper reefer, that pint of liquor, or them sneakers. What do you really want? You really want the knowledge or you want to look good or get high? Because if sneakers going get dirty, the weed going to wear off and the liquor going to wear off. But what I help you instill in here, you're going to have that forever. So I talk for a living. I'm about to do a show now too, I think, because Uncle Luke, your ass is grass.
What time you going live?
Probably like I'm gonna eat dinner. It's 2:45. I'm gonna eat dinner really quick. So it'll probably be like 4:00. Doggie Diamonds TV, as they can see. You know what I'm saying? If you need graphics, anything you need, like, you know, I just be sitting here doing stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I got my promo. This is my promo. This is my $100 promo. This is everything. If you heard about my $100 promo deal, I could give you some, you know, the promotion be done on Doggie Diamonds TV, the Interlude TV. That'll be promoted on the Insta stories, the YouTube community, the threads, the Facebook, the Twitter account. I could promote whatever you need. But as a reminder, you must be Cash App ready. This for serious inquiries only. I can help you bring awareness to your products, your t-shirt line, your YouTube, your music, your candle line, whatever. Just contact me at Doggie Diamonds on Instagram. So yeah, this is what I do. That's like, and I only charge $100 because everybody don't got it. Right, you know what I'm saying? That's everybody. Yeah, everybody don't got it. So I charge people a little bit because everybody deserves to be seen and heard, especially if you got something good. And I started somewhere too. And I wish somebody said, give me $100 and I'll do this. I would have gladly did that. So again, I be wanting to be the change I want to see. So I don't know what you're about to do, but me hungry, me big mouth hungry. So I'm about to eat
well,
something.
I definitely want to thank you for coming through. To everybody, again, that's Doggie Diamonds on all platforms, Doggie Diamonds TV on Instagram. You on Rumble too, right?
Yeah, and don't forget,
Doggie Diamonds did this.
Yeah, and you can catch them every night, every weeknight, 8:00 or 8:30.
I'm gonna start doing 8:30 because 7:30 is too early because I got the West Coast to worry about. I got the UK, so 8:30 every night.
Y'all don't know we didn't even talk about shows he produced and executive produced. Like this dude got his hands in everything and working on bigger things. And of course, like he said,
And
he
you
helped us
keep
structure.
running your mouth. I'm gonna have my hand in your girl pants soon too. Because I be on here trying to look like me as it is. Now everybody want to wear shades. First, everybody's like, why he always got on shades? Why he always got on shades? Why y'all got on shades now?
Yeah, right. Yeah, look, I stopped wearing shades because everybody wearing shades now because I got old pictures with. But you know, again, we've always been influential in the hood prior to digital spaces, so it's nothing. It's nothing, and that's why we're thankful to be doing what we're doing. It's dope that we can do this, like me and Gutter was talking about. You know, everybody who supports us, we thank them for helping us from the ground floor because they can actually say they was there from day one watching us grow. You know,
Sister identification,
Sister Farnessa.
But the station identification is this is the OG Wisdom podcast, and it is imperative that although you might be in the chat, leave a comment in the chat, leave another comment on the actual video.
Yes.
After it's out, and you gotta hit that like button, and you gotta leave a comment, even if you say show and support, salute, whatever. The comments is important. The chat is important. Appreciate the chat, and remember, everything that you see us do, especially myself, and especially what Tad is doing, we are independent. So when you give me money, you helping sponsor an independent voice who's not under nobody's jurisdiction. That's why I can speak freely. I can say what I want, because once you start getting corporate dollars and corporate sponsors, they censor you. That's why I could talk about things that's going on within our different neighborhoods and, you know, what we might be going through as a whole or how we think. That's why OG Wisdom could talk about the wisdom from a street side, but everything has to be paid for, you know, so the StreamYard costs, my programs cost, everything costs, and I do everything out of pocket. So I use your viewership money, but sometimes it's not enough. But you never gonna hear me complain about anything. So I see y'all sometimes giving people $100 in their super chat, giving people $50, and they don't give you nothing. But then again, why do you love the devil sometimes? Because he give you nothing.
Yeah.
So with that,
again, family, y'all can definitely also tune in to me and my sister Keisha, Sister Marcia, and Brother Blacksmith every Thursday on YouTube at 8 p.m. Thorough Black Talk Radio. This is where we get in depth with politics and social events that's going on around the country that do affect us and the upcoming laws and laws that's been changed. You know, we have real conversations, as Doggie said. We're not corporate sponsored. So we're pretty much allowed to have open, honest dialogue within the parameters of what YouTube would allow also. But you definitely got to check us out.
$1 help. $1 help. Don't think nothing that you give is too small, because again, as Tad could know for a fact, every dollar I get go back into the production. Everything I get.
And that's why it looks the way it do.
Yeah, everything I go back, like you could see me live when I'm live on my own. You know what I'm saying? Everything I do go into my production, everything, my intros, and I make everything you see. Even if I got
help yours too.
Yeah, the last thing I had was Captain Tazariak. Y'all should watch that show. You know what I'm saying? So again, if you like your who's who rappers or whatever, I've had them on my platform. You said Marcia from was she Child Development?
No, not that Marcia.
I'm about to say, because that's the only Marcia I know. I'm like, Child Development?
Oh, nah.
Damn. Well, you know her for like 25 years or something.
Shout out to her too, because she's now the executive director. Actually.
Yeah, she took over? Oh.
Yeah, she took over. So salute to her.
We talk
some career stuff, y'all.
I gotta run. Let me eat so I could come back on and do my show, because Uncle Luke, you gonna get it.
Yeah.
So
I'll be tuned in.
Yeah, so what I like to do a lot of times, again, with my investigative journalism, people think what I do sometimes too is celebrity gossip. It's not celebrity gossip. I expose a lot of what people say and the hypocrisy, and I give a spin on it, because a lot of things, they giving you what you think you need, but a lot of times I'm gonna use people names to sensationalize the title to give you what you need, because I'm giving you what you want in order to give you what you need. So again, I put a video up with Sweetie doing the video, but on her jacket she had on, she still had the alarm. So I'm like, she banged the jacket.
I peeped that.
She banged the jacket. You know what I'm saying? So you thinking these people are rich and they still out here stealing. You know what I'm saying? Allegedly. So yeah, let me run and stuff. Yo, I appreciate everybody. Again, I'm on all social media at Doggie Diamonds. No Y in my name and no Z in my diamonds. You got a Z in your diamonds, it's fake. It's with an S, you know. So I'll let y'all later on. Peace.
Peace, dog. Again, family, I want to thank y'all for tuning in. That's our brother Doggie Diamonds. Again, you can follow him on all social platforms, Doggie Diamonds TV on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Rumble, anything you rocking with. All right. And again, you can also catch us, me and my sister Kay Fight, also known as Sister Keisha, every Thursday at 8 p.m. on Thorough Black Talk Radio. We went into overtime today, but I want to thank everybody for tuning in with us, rocking out with us. And my brother C Gutter, where you at? And we catch y'all next Sunday. All right. Y'all stay up, stay blessed, stay true. Peace.